Hi, Pat in the cockpit. We had so much fun yesterday flying up to Philly and Vatsim. We're going to try another flight in Vatsim. Today, Philly to Boston, but we're going to do something different today, something we've never done before. We're going to go through the whole setup of the process and try to let you follow along on that. This will be my first attempt at this, so just kind of come along for the ride. We're sitting in Philly and got a couple different screens here. I'm showing you a screen of my ForeFlight on this iPad, and I've got Navigraph over here on this Microsoft Surface, and they're in the window over here. I also have the EFP Flightdeck for ZiboMod. So we're going to let you watch those. Let me get my little pad here. And we're also going to let you see what's going on behind the curtain here as far as setting up SimBrief and setting up all our programs. So we're going to let you follow along on that too. So before I start that, let me go over to the stream and make sure the volumes sound okay. Bear with me 1 second. Just see what's going on behind the curtain here as far as setting up SimBrief and setting up all our programs. So we're going to let you follow along on that too. So before I start that, let me go over to the stream and make sure the volumes sound okay. Bear with me 1 second. Just see what's going on behind the curtain here as far as setting up SimBrief and setting up all our programs. So we're going to let you follow along on that too. So before I start that, let me go over to the stream and make sure the volumes sound okay. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, I think we're good there. And we have the chat going there. Okay. So when I hop in a cockpit, I fire up X-Plane, and I don't have any screens going down, starting on the MIP screens. I'm going to start down. I'll start a couple of programs that run that. We've got this CDU jar client that we start. And then we'll start zhsi, ZHSI. And it allows you to take all the screens from ZiboMod and put them on these panels. And that comes from originally from Andreas, and now it's maintained by Pikatanga. We're using ZHSI version 3.45. And we'll start that. Get that program running. Come over here and turn our annunciators on. Whoops, I missed that. Okay, we got the annunciators on, got the dashboard running. We got all the 5 green lights. I don't know if you can see them here, but on the dashboard we need 5 green lights, which is X-Plane status, ZiboMod status, nav database status, terrain database status, and weather status. They're all green. Little programs that have to be running inside ZHSI or portions of it to operate. So we're all set there. And oops, I just screwed that up big time. I moved that screen. I didn't want to. We'll fix that in a second. Since this is kind of a little discombobulated compared to what I usually do, so bear with me. I'll try to do this correctly. Let's just get our checklist out. And we haven't done our dispatch load sheet. Let's get power into plane. So our DC battery is closed, our standby power, and ground power is turned on. And that should start all the screens. And we'll get these screens running. And they're all running. And our CDUs, you can see they're multicolored down there. We're going to get them. We moved our CDU up here to the top, up here, and down behind the first officer seat we have. We're looking at our ForeFlight on its iPad, and over here we've got Microsoft service, and we have the electronic flight bag for ZiboMod, and we swipe over and we can also put in Navigraph. So we'll go back to there, and we're going to start a flight here. And we've got our volumes going. Start a flight. Go to ground services and open up some doors. And you can see right now in the overhead we have the forward door open, and in the aft we're going to open up a forward entry also. Okay. And I've got to come in here and I lost my mouse. So I have one mouse that goes across all the screens. And I use a program called Input Director that lets me run one mouse across 5 computers. Works really good. Sometimes I lose my mouse and my brain. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Where am I? I think I want to tilt this camera down slightly. That screen is burning out that I really can't. I guess it is what it is. Let me see if I can change the exposure on it slightly. It is what it is. I'm going to go back to X-Plane. And I'm going to start my CDUs. I've got a plugin called FDStoXP and a reloaded CDUs. And you can see here both CDUs are running. Okay. And that's now up here. So let's check our batteries. Good. Fuel pumps are all set. This little cord here now for this camera. Wipers are in park. Hydraulics are only when it's on is engine number 2, and the engine isn't running, so it's not operating. Landing gear is down and confirmed. Weather radar is in test and off. Fire warning. Check the volume here. That looks good. And clear that. Ground power unit, we've already connected and confirmed that. That's good. Galley is turned on. Bleeds, we'll turn the research on. The packs to auto, isolation valve to open, APU bleed to open, and engine bleeds to off. Electrical panel is set, and we're going to set the IRSs to nav and do an alignment on the IRSs. So we go to the initialization page, IDIP page in our FMC, and we'll see that our Navigraph is up to date and our engine rating is good and our op program's good. We'll go to position initialization, and we're at Philly, KPHL. And let's see what gate we're at. We'll just look in X-Plane real quick, and we can just go up here and it'll tell us. We're at gate B7. B7. Gate B7. And we're going to go to page 2 and grab this GPS information and put it into our set IRS position and hit route. And in origin we'll put KPHL, and then we'll put Boston KBOS. And we'll use American 2. And we'll put a company route in which hasn't been entered yet. KPHL Philly to KBOS. And we'll use number 1. We're not going to enter that just yet. So that's CDU's flap lever is up and confirmed. Parking brake is on parking brakes, and exterior lights as required. We'll put the position light in steady so everybody knows outside that we've got a hot plane, or we got a plane that's powered up. That's all good. Okay, so the originator part of the pre-flight is complete. Now the programs I've got running, I've got my zhsi's running down over here. Got that program started. I got OBS running, which allows me to put all this stuff up on the screen. Active Sky is running. So here is Active Sky. Remember, this is kind of new to me, so doing it this way. Let's see if I can Active Sky right there. So you can see that I have Active Sky running right there. And there's no sense in showing you all this till I actually do a program. So I'm going to close Active Sky. And we'll put up, we get a little spun around here. Bear with me. Let's put our browser up. So what else do we have running? We have Active Sky. We have TopCat, our performance calculator. We have our little program for our control panel. And why is it so noisy in here? We got to look at something. I think we got our front door open. And let's look back here. Yeah, see, we can look back in the cabin. And all the people are boarding. I'm going to shut this door. Yeah, definitely quieter. Okay. Okay, so we'll show you all these programs later. We got TopCat running for our performance. We're going to start our ACARS program. And we've got VatSpy running. And we've got Discord running, but I have no idea why. I'm not going to use Discord. XPilot's running. That's the next thing we're going to get up and running here. So we'll just show you XPilot. Right there. So there's our XPilot program right there. And the big thing about XPilot, it's the client that lets us talk to Vatsim. And it's got to be running while we're running on Vatsim. And we're going to start it. We're all set up. And the important thing is when we start it, we're not sitting on top of somebody. So to verify that, we'll just go look outside. And there's our plane sitting outside. And when we start we're going to connect as American 2. Our type code is Boeing 738, and our SoCal is DEMS. And that's just a 4-letter code that allows them to send us a emergency. And it has nothing to do with political affiliation, trust me. Okay, connect to Vatsim. So I'm connected to Vatsim, and the important thing is that I'm not sitting on anybody. And let's see if there's other planes here. I'm going to just zoom around. And I presently don't see any other planes here. Oh, there's somebody taking off down the runway. Okay, let's look back out the window. So now we're looking out the front window. Okay, so we've got Vatsim running, and presently you can see that on the left up here of the XPilot, you can see all the frequencies, and we've got Philly ATIS, and we're going to look at that now. 133.4. Oh, we just started that program. 133.4. We're going to click on that, and it'll give us the ATIS for Philly. And we're going to read it off here. You can see it's in green here. And ATIS is for Philly is information November. I'm going to write this down on my little pad right here. At 1854 Zulu. And presently it's 1909 Zulu. Well, I'll set this clock over here. 1909 Zulu. 7:09 Greenwich Mean Time. We always fly in Zulu, just easier. So we're at 1909 Zulu. The weather was, excuse me, 10 miles visibility. Few at 6,500. A few clouds at 6,500. A few at 25,000. And 2913. Temperature is 29 degrees C and the dew point is 13. Altimeter is 3019. We'll dial in 3019 here. Okay. And I'm going to, bear with me, I want to tune into Philly approach so I can at least hear him 128.4. And see if it's loud enough in the stream.
See, please.
And I can adjust the volume in settings here, and that you can't see that.
November 9580 Mike, radar contact, say altitude.
And we're going to hear two volumes. One is the pilot actually talking,
9580 Mike, climb maintain.
and the other is the controller. And the controllers are really the one I want to hear. And let me see how it's set up for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute this mic and go over
Delta
to
523, contact New York Center, 125.32, have a great flight.
2532 is that 523, we'll see ya.
And we're going to hear two volumes.
80
One is the pilot
Mike,
actually
turn right
talking,
heading 360,
and the other is the
intercept
controller.
Victor
And the
460.
controllers are really the one I want to hear. And let me see how it's set up for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute this mic and go over
Delta
to
523, contact New York Center, 125.32, have a great flight.
2532 is that 523, we'll see ya.
and we're going to hear two volumes.
80
One is the
Mike,
pilot actually
turn right
talking,
heading
and the other
360,
is the
intercept
controller.
Victor
And the
460.
controllers are really the one I want to hear. Okay, I think that's too loud. I think that's too loud. Again, just bear with me here. This is trying to get this all set up. 128.40.
Philly approach, good day. This is American 2255, currently past 12,000 down to 8,000.
American 2255, Philadelphia approach, Philadelphia altimeter 3021. Can expect vectors ILS G7 right.
Alright, we got the Aegis on board and we'll
128.40.
Philly approach, good day. This is American 2255, currently past 12,000 down to 8,000.
American 2255, Philadelphia approach, Philadelphia altimeter 3021. Beach 80 Mike, climb maintain 8,000, vectors ILS G7 right.
Alright, we got the Aegis on board and we'll
128.40.
Philly approach, good day. This is American 2255.
Again, this is going to take a while to get everything set up. Usually all this is done beforehand, but I just want to go through what I have to do to get a flight going here. Trying to get the volume set for Aegis. It's kind of important. I think we got it set where we want it. Okay, so there's our we're on Vatsim through the X-Pilot client. We're going to minimize this. Actually, we leave it up all the time. We have to be able to see it. They can ping us. It's got all the frequencies, but I'm going to take it off this, and we're going to go somewhere else. And where we really want to go is to SimBrief. and it's not up. Sim brief, right there. Stand by. And sim brief, that should be it right there. Okay. So to plan our flight, we use ForeFlight and sim brief. And let's go ahead and show you how we do that. Bear with me. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to ForeFlight, and I'm going to put in my flight. I'm going to put in Kilo Papa Hotel Lima. Actually, there's an easier way. I'm going to go to Flight Aware, and in Flight Aware, I'll put in Philly and Boston, KBOS, and we're going to get a real flight. Let's get this American 738 AEL 2550. AAL.
Aircraft Philadelphia, this information. Ask is current altimeter 3019.
And I'm going to turn him off for just a little bit. So in ForeFlight, I'm sorry, in Flight Aware, there's a real flight that's completed. I don't want that one. Let's get one that's going to be flown here. Here we go. And today's the 29th. Yeah, we'll just take this one that just landed. Yeah. It just arrived. Okay, we're going to grab it. It's a 738, and we're going to go to details. It's at gate C31, and it's going to B8. So you know something? We're going to swap. We're going to stay where we're at. Where did I say? I can't remember where we're at now. We're at B7. Okay. And in ForeFlight, this flight is, we're going to go to more in, not ForeFlight, Flight Aware. We're going to look at that. And it's got an altitude of 23,000. So write that down, flight level 23,000. With a, it's only a 51-minute flight, 51 minute. And the plan route is ditch Q437, HANA Q450, JFK Robux 3. So we're going to view that in ForeFlight. You can do that right from Flight Aware. You can hit view route in ForeFlight. I touch on that right there, and it automatically throws in the ForeFlight. Ta-da! And it's asking us which runways for the Robux 3. Well, this is where we go over and look at the ATIS. So we're going to go look at the ATIS now. So let's pop, we've got multiple ways to do that. First thing we're going to do is we got a little program on our iPad. Hold on a second. So on our iPhone, we have a program called ATIS app. It's really a neat program. Let's just look at real world ATISes. So we're going to put in, we have Philly as a favorite. We're going to put in Boston, KBOS, and put it as a favorite. So in Boston, in the real world information kilo, approaches are being conducted to parallel runways on 4 right and 4 left. So we're going to, most assuredly, we're going to go look at procedures in ForeFlight, and we'll look at approaches, and we'll look at the arrivals first. The Robux 3 and JFK transition. to 4 right. And we'll hit add to route. Okay, we've got that in there. So what I really need to do is look at not in the real world. This is what's going on in the real world. And let's look at what's going on in Philly, and then we'll look at see what's going on in the Vatsim world. They're taking off on 27 left in Philly, and I guarantee you that's probably correct. And we didn't check that on the ATIS. So we go back to the ATIS right here, and it says here departing runway 27 left. And we in XPilot we can't see the ATIS for Boston because it's too far away. So in that case, we're going to go over to VatSpy. And we'll look at VatSpy right here. Okay, here's VatSpy. And we're going to zoom in on it. And you can see we're in VatSpy, we're actually at Philly. There's the ATIS, and you can see there's 2 people there. And I'm one of them with no flight plan filed. But we're going to go up here, and everything that's grayed has ATC. And we're going to go up here to Boston and look at on VatSpy, click on it and look at the ATIS for Boston. ATIS details. That's the important thing we're looking for. Boston Logan Airport ATIS information. And you can't see this in the window here. It's an extra window. Let's see if I can pop it up for you. No, it's a window on top of a window. Anyway, information kilo, it looks like it's the same as the real world. ILS runway 4 right approach. 4 right and 4 left. 4 left is too short. We're going to use 4 right. So, we're done with VatSpy for a little bit. We can close that. Okay, so I'm going to write down 4 right. Come back to 4 flight. So our real world flight is ditch to Q, and we'll come down here and look at this. We'll take off, get a departure procedure. We'll take the Philly 2 departure. We'll add that to the route, and with the ditch transition, we'll run out straight to ditch. And it looks like we're going to use a coil as the secondary frequency, 113.4. We'll dial that in right now. It's right on the 4 flight chart. And on the primary, we'll have Modena, 113.2. So we've got our VOR frequencies put in. Always need to have VOR frequencies for navigation purposes. And I don't know if you can see on 4 flight, you can actually see the traffic in 4 flight, the Vatsim traffic. 4 flight can be used in the real world and see using ADBS, see real aircraft on your 4 flight. But in the Vatsim world, it also allows you to download the Vatsim traffic, which is really convenient. It's real time. I strongly recommend if you have 4 flight to use that function. So we're going to use the ditch transition, and then at ditch we take Q 437 airway, and we take it all the way up to Hana, and then we jump on the Q 450, and we take it straight into JFK, and then we transition into the Roebuck 3 into Boston. And we'll go ahead and put an approach in, and we're going to use 4 right. Using the Jepson chart, okay, and the Goshi initial approach fix, and we'll add that to the route. And then we're going to pack. There's a little suitcase here in 4 flight. We hit it, and we're going to pack. We're packing our bags, which gives us the weather, the segments, the NOTAMs, TFRs, airport NOTAMs, fuel prices, all that information downloads it. This is our pre-planning for routing. Now we're going to go into SimBrief. Let's get SimBrief back up here, and we're going to do our routing in SimBrief. Hey, Sonny. How you doing? I won't be watching the chat a whole bunch, but I'll try to. Okay, so we're gonna bring SimBrief back up here. Right there. And there's SimBrief. So let's, in SimBrief, we can go to My Fleet, and I use a 738. I have a couple of them here. The one I use is tail registration is November 4888 Lima, and it's a 738. And just to show you, it is set up exactly like ZiboMod as far as weights and balances. That's the important thing here. So you've got a weights and balances are set up exactly like a real world 738 in active sky, my performance calculator, ZiboMod, SimBrief. They're all the same weights and balances and max cargo weights. That's real important to do. So that's the plane we'll be using there. And we're going to click on New Flight. And we go to New Flight, we're going to put an American here. And hopefully you can see it on the screen. I can make it a little larger here. There. And we'll always use American 2. We're going to depart from Kilo Papa Hotel Lima, and we're going to Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra, and it'll automatically populate an alternate, which is JFK. And let's see if we can drag. And today's date, and it says depart Zulu at 2000 Zulu, and that's about a half an hour from now. We're actually going to make it 2015 because we're going to be very slow here. Then it says aircraft type. We're going to use, in our fleet, we're going to grab this one, which populate all the performance advanced aircraft options and performance. And over here on the right, our operational flight plan, OFP format, is LEDO. We need to use LEDO. That's really important. Our contingency fuel is set for auto with 5 to 15% extra. We have and it's important that you have detailed nav log to be able to print out your OFP. We don't have ETOPS planning today. We don't have step climbs. We're not going to do runway analysis or NOTAMs. So under aircraft options, this shows us our climb performance. Our cost index is 100. We like to use lots of fuel. Fuel factor, our descent profile is in here, our registration, and our call sign. So scheduled flight today is 1 hour and 20 minutes. That includes push time. We're departing 27 left, and we're arriving on 4 right. We've already done that. We looked at the ATIS. Time out, 10-minute taxi out, 8-minute taxi in. Extra fuel, we don't have extra fuel today. Altitude, we're going to put in flight level 23000, 23,000. So that is in, also we put that in our flight. Passengers, we're going to put auto. It's important to, in my program, to leave the freight for 0. It'll automatically calculate it. It'll calculate the CFW. It's going to give us a random amount of passengers. That's my pilot ID, the captain's name. So it's going to give us a route here. SimBrief is going to recommend a route. And it gives us exact, it says the ORW 6, and we're saying the Roebuck 6. I'm going to put in the Roebuck 6. JFK, Roebuck 3. And we're going to come down here and hit the Analyze Route, and it gives us green. And it says the ARAC is up to date in SimBrief. It also is in our plane. Okay, so this has given us all our information we need. Let's zoom back a little bit. It gives you suggested routes over here in SimBrief on the right, if you want them. Route Finder, historical weather, alternate. So in SimBrief, you can scroll down and you can see that it gives us our routing. It looks exactly like we had in our flight. You can highlight any waypoint. The important part is OFP. It's right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, now we've done all this pre-planning. We can hit up here, Generate Flight Plan. So we're going to hit the Generate Flight Plan. Generate this flight plan, yes. And this is the the operational flight plan that's just been generated. And we're going to start by looking at some of this. There's our in the OFP, airline, flight, aircraft, all the information we put in, departure date, time. Airtime is 48 minutes, so it's an hour and 20, but that's with the push and start. Block fuel is 14,011. That's the important one. So let's get, if I'm going to minimize, well, we'll do this in a minute. That block fuel is important. Here's our ZFW and our takeoff weight. Here's our routing. And if we go down here, here's our OFP. And this is kind of slick in SimBrief. We can just take that OFP portion and scroll it by itself, and everything else stays, and you move your mouse over to the left and you can scroll everything. But in the center section, you can scroll just the OFP. And it's right there. Okay. So we got our OFP, and we'll be using some of this in just a minute to print out some more information. Here's our NOTAMs if we want them. For our departure, we can click to show them. For our departure, our arrival, our alternate's JFK. Now this is SimBrief Downloader. This is important. You can start SimBrief Downloader and send the OFP to anywhere you want. We're sending it to Active Sky and to our FMC. And so we're going to do, that's important. So to do that, I come over here and on my screen and I click on SimBrief Downloader. And I just click on SimBrief Downloader, and it's going to send it everywhere. And let's see if I can show that to you. I've got so many screens open right now, I'm almost lost. Let's see, SimBrief Downloader. There it is. Okay, here's SimBrief Downloader. That's what it looks like. And I don't know if you can see very well. In SimBrief Downloader, I have export selected formats. And of all that big list, I've selected this one that says Leonardo MD80. That allows me to download my ACARs to my printer in this format. And also I'm downloading this OFP to X-Plane 11. And here's my directory, download directory. Users, my name, desktop, X-Plane 11 to the FMC plans. And also an XML data file, which allows us in the FMS to get descent information. That's a new feature that ZiboMod has put in. So I'm just going to hit export, and that's done, and then close it. And that's done. So I'm going to close that program and go over to my FMC plans. Bear with me 1 second. If I click on my FMC plans, okay, here are my FMC plans. Okay, so I'm going to delete the ones we did yesterday, Charlotte and that one. Delete those two. Now this part is difficult and important. For X-Plane to have down to X-Plane, let me bear with me. For X-Plane to have descent wind information, the forecast descent information in the FMC for X-Plane, you need to change the format. So when I downloaded to the FMC plans in the output folder of X-Plane, it made two files. You can see this one is KPHL-KBOS 01.FMC. The one above it is the XML file, but it's got the wrong format. So all we have to do is copy the format of the name, not the format, of the FMC, which is up to the XML one, which is for the descent information. So to do that, you highlight the FMC one and hit F2. It highlights it, then you do Control C and copy it. You go up to the one above it and you hit F2 on it and you hit Control V and it copies the name. So you notice now I have two folders, two files that say Philly to Boston 01.xml and .fmc. One's for the FMC or CDU, and the other is the information for the descent information. We'll use that when we get into the FMC. That's an important step. So I'm going to get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Now we're going to come over and we're going to let's do our dispatch work. There's a lot to do here, so bear with me. That's the whole purpose of this video, is to show you everything that we have to do. So I'm gonna I am lost. Hold on. Kebab, hi. I'm not watching my chat very much because I got so many screens open. I'm going through a complete setup on setting up for flying, so bear with me. So I'm gonna go to Vatsim. Let's open up that window. Okay, we're back in SimBrief, and these were all the formats for the downloader, and I've only got 3 of them. And we're done with that. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. It says pre-file on a network, and I'm going to do pre-file on the Vatsim network, myvatsim.net. And all I do is hit pre-file, and it takes me to the Vatsim page. And over here, 2 things I need to do. First, I need to scroll down and copy the routing. So I'm just going to highlight it, hit Control C. We'll need that in just a minute for our dispatch work. And I'm going to scroll to the bottom and click on Flight Plan. A couple of important things for me. I got to make sure it says Join AVA so I get credit for my VA airline. Also, equipment. I can't remember. So, as a 738, I'm RNAV capable, and I want to have Lima in there. And I'm not sure if I put it in transponder or equipment, but I put it in both. That way, the controller knows I'm RNAV capable. So I'm just going to hit File Flight Plan, and you can see right up here our flight plan's been filed. That's right there. Now I'm going to minimize this. I'm trying to think where to go next. Let's actually go back to, and hopefully we don't lose any ATC. We may. Still looks like it's up. Now, since I've filed my, it looks like ATC for Philly is left, so we're not going to get we don't want to get clearance. It's already filed. We still have New York. Let's hold on. You can't see this, I can, so. Let's go back to XPilot, right there. Hit OK, and you can see in XPilot that right now we have New York Center on, Boston Center, Cleveland Center, New York Approach, Newark Departure, and Philly ATIS. Let's look at the Philly ATIS. It's still, looks like it's still November. So approach for Philly went off, and we can confirm that by going to that to VATSPY and opening up right there. And if you look there, and I'll zoom out, you can see that, I'll zoom in on the Philly, we still have the ATIS for Philly right there. And who's going in? The dotted lines are people leaving, the solid lines are people coming in. And you can see right there, now it's highlighted, and it says American 2, Boeing 737/L, which is RNAV capable, KBOS, and I have a flight, and I can highlight it and check my flight. Hello, there. And I can click on me, And you can't see this in the stream, but I'm clicking on me and it has my routing. That confirms it has all the information, flight details for Vatsim. I'm going to close that, and you can see that the Philly, it's buried back up in here in the DC center, just below the New York RTEC. So as soon as we take off, we'll be getting into the New York airspace. And I'll call them, and pretty sure New York doesn't cover Philly. After we take off, they do. And Boston's still on. So I'm going to minimize that. And okay, so let me make sure I've got everything done I need to. Oh, let's go do our bear with me. I'm going to do our ACARS now. Let's open up that screen and let's see. There we go, and hit OK. This is our ACARS for joinava.org, the virtual airline I fly for. So in this window, let's see if anybody's chatting here. No, nobody's chatting. Okay. In this window, this is our, and feel free to join AVA anytime. Nope. Okay. We just got a beep from XPilot, and it is from New York Center. It's our PDC. So New York Center is going to be controlling our departure. Let's throw that up. Before we do that, I don't know if you could hear that beep, but before we throw that XPilot PDC, which is a pre-departure clearance, PDC. And people talk about PDCs, that's the pre-departure clearance. Instead of talking to the controller and getting my clearance, they'll send it to me in text, which actually is a lot nicer. Sometimes it's nice to talk, and we'll put New York Center on 128.125. We'll dial that in, and we'll see if we can hear them. We should hear them. Okay, back to Join AVA and my dispatch. So if I go to Join AVA, and I'm going to come over here to my dispatch work, right there, dispatch, and I'm going to find a flight. So I'm going to zoom in, I'm in Philly, and I'm going to click on Boston right there, and it should give me all the flights leaving out of, real world flights leaving out of Philly to go to Boston for Join AVA, and I'm looking for a 737-800 is what I'm looking for, and I don't see one. I can change that in a little bit. All these are Airbuses. So we're looking for one around 1942 Zulu. Right about there. That one's good right there. I'll just click on that one, and I need a route. And I can get that from a couple different places. I just go to my routing here, copy that, go back to XPilot, and go Control V, and schedule a flight. So, flight is it gives me all the real world information for Join AVA. I'm doing my dispatch work for my virtual airline. Schedule a flight, and it says flight successfully scheduled. I hit OK. That's good. I'm done with this page. Let's go back to, as long as I'm here, I might as well do my Active Sky now. We'll go to Active Sky and open that browser for Active Sky. Hit OK. Okay, Active Sky. So I'm loaded up in Active Sky. I'm going to go to Flight Plans and Load. And here's our flight. And I'll double click on it, and it'll drop in all the information. It'll drop in the map. It should give me the full routing. It's going to give me, oops, I'm looking at China. I'm not China, I'm United States. Bear with me. Gives me all the bad weather, just more information. Give me all the Vatsim planes. If I zoom in, you'll be able to see nice little map here in Active Sky if you want to use it. It gives you all the routing. It shows you all the Vatsim planes. You can, in real time, you can hover over them. It shows you clouds, wind shear, visibility. I can take the clouds off. I can take the warnings off. I can go see what the warnings are, hover over them. Airmet Tango, moderate turbulence between 2,700 and 39,000, conditions ending. It gives you time and date. So good to look at NOTAMs and segments and all that. So the important thing about this is once it's in active sky, I can have the capability going into my FMC in ZiboMod and going to weather and downloading the Vatsim information. We'll talk about that later. So I'm going to minimize this. We're done there. I think I'm all done here. Bear with me. And I have to go through all this on every flight. Half an hour is about average.
For ILS, which runway? One more time. Expecting 22 left and altimeter 3020.
To go through all this on every flight. Half an hour is about average.
For ILS, which runway? One more time. Thank you.
And if anybody is listening on the stream right now and they can text in there if my volume's okay or the ATC's okay, I would appreciate it. Okay. My brain just went blank. Okay, we did our active sky. We've done our dispatch work. I'm going to come over here to my ACARS and open up my ACARS.
Request 180.
Let's open up ACARS. Right there. And start that one. Okay, here's my ACARS screen. So this is our virtual airlines by TFDI and smart cars. So I'm going to go to flights and refresh it, and there it is. It imported from my browser from Joint AVA. So affiliate of Boston, I'm going to click on it and hit the fly button, and I'm going to change my plane here, and I'm going to go down and pick up Boeing 737-800 because that's what we fly. And it's important that the default is offline. I'm going to go to Vatsim. And amount of passengers today, we can go to our OFP and look at that. Sim brief. And whoops. Bear with me. I'm going to go up here and look at how many passengers we got today. PAX is
57. Delta 420, can you confirm heading one more time?
PAX is 147. Okay, so I'm going to put 147 in here. And flight level is 230. Put that in there. And so I'm going to hit start.
Welcome aboard, everyone.
And that starts our ACARS. I'm going to minimize that. And now we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to go to data printer output information. This is a lot of fun. Let me close this.
We request that all portable electronic devices such as mobile phones or laptops be either turned off or put in airplane mode.
So this is my files for my printer. And we're going to delete the one from yesterday. It's a text file. And I'll just delete that, and we're going to open this, and I open it with a notepad. Okay, and I'm going to let's see if I can get it so you can see it now. Stand by. I'm going to close this, go over here, and see if I can open it. Ta-da! Very nice. Okay. Let me move this and scroll down. So, oops. So we're going to cut and paste some stuff here. To start with, we're going to put 2 lines in there, 1, 2 for the printer. And we're going to scroll down here and get rid of that line. And anything that says direct we'll get rid of, and we'll move that up. Oops. This is what's going to print out on our printer. This is the Leonardo MD80 format for the 40 character printer. And this summary line we'll get rid of. This all got bled down from the OFP. And it's stuff we need for the FMC. And what I really need here is payload. Payload equals, and we're going to scroll down and get the payload information. Oops, where did payload information go?
3310.
Payload 36.8. 36.8 thousand pounds. Okay, we got cargo. We don't need this line here. Well, you can see here the stuff we do need. American 2, OFP 1, how we're flying, our tail number, cruise, takeoff weights, blocks, ZFWs, trip information, final reserves, frequencies, routing, fuel at different waypoints, routing, packs, payload, cargo, fuel, taxi, fuels, trip fuels, flight name, number, time. So now I need to put a little line here, and I'm going to scroll down and get rid of everything except down to right there. I need this information, takeoff, and I need average ISA for takeoff right there, and everything below that I don't need, all the way down to takeoff. I'm going to get rid of all this other junk in the OFP I don't need. Takeoff information. I need top of climb. There's the top of climb. Information is right. Top of climb is right there, and I'll put the word TOC. And I need the ISA temperature, and it's positive 08. P08, I'll put that in here. Everything else I don't need, except maybe the descent information. And see it right there, descent information. I might keep that. I don't need it, but I'll keep it. And everything else I'm getting rid of. It's all gone. So now I'm going to hit Control S, and that saves it. I'll go up to File and hit Page Setup and hit automatically cut the sheet for the printer. And now I'm going to go right down here to my printer. I'm going to print it out by hitting Control P, Enter. And just,
Approach Southwest 8275 with you.
I'm going to print it out. So what we have is our information printed out that we just parsed out, and that goes right here on the yoke. That's important information. So we're done there. It's sort of like a dispatch sheet, OFP, FMC, all the good stuff I need. Let's see if we got any questions.
4000 to 420.
Let's check our volume. It's sort of like a dispatch sheet, OFP, FMC, all the good stuff I need. Let's see if we got any questions.
4,000 to 420.
Let's check our volume. It's sort of like a dispatch sheet, OFP, FMC, all the good stuff I need. Let's see if we got any questions.
4,000.
Okay, where am I? So let's think this through. On our server, and what I'm doing is I'm looking out this rear window. I have a server screen for setting my flight up. I don't fly with it, I just need it. I've got my dispatch work done. I'm filed. I got my, okay, let's go back to PDC. We need to show you the PDC information. Let me get my screen set back up so you can see it. And let's go to the PDC screen. Right there. Here is our PDC. And let me see if I can get it moved over a little better. Okay, so I'm going to read through it and you can follow. PDC from Kyle Perry, he's the controller. New York Center, do not reply to this message. Pre-departure clearance stat at 1941 Zulu, call sign American 2, equipment's a Boeing 738, departing KPHL, arriving Boston, squawking 7134. So we're going to write that down, 7134, and that goes on our transponder, 7134. Okay. Final altitude is flight level 230, and we'll just kind of dial that in for reference purposes right now. 230, and we'll confirm it in our sheet we printed out. Confirmed. Approved route. Ditch Quebec 437 HANA Quebec 450 JFK Roebuck 3. Departure frequency is 125.325. I'll write that down on my sheet. 123.325, and we'll dial that in. 123. Oops, wrong radio. 123.32. Okay. I've got 2 decimal places on my radios. Some have 3. Altitude restrictions, maintain 5,000. So they want us to maintain 5,000 feet. So we're going to put 5,000 in now. And we're going to write this on our tablet. So when we call them in and talk to them, we have a tablet here made by Flyrite. And so we're cleared to KBOS via the Philly 2 departure, ditch transition, then as filed. Climb via the SID, accept maintain 5,000, expect flight level 230, 10 minutes after. Let's see, departure frequency is 123.32, squawking 7134 with November. That's the, November is the code for the weather. Let me continue on. Yeah, departure is the Philly 2 departure. So it says here, plan runway 27 left for departure. Contact New York Center on frequency 125.32. That's correct. For taxi with assigned SID, squawk code, and current ATIS code only. So we need, it's good to write down, we need the SID, the squawk, and ATIS. So that is going to be, the SID is going to be the Philly 2, the squawk is going to be 7134, and ATIS, November. That's what they want to know when I call them for taxi. Let me read on here. If you have any questions or are unable to accept any assignments, contact ATC on 125.35. Pre-departure clearance ends. Okay, that's our pre-departure clearance. So we've got our ACARs done. We've got our dispatch work done. We printed out our sheet. We've got our routing. We've got our we're cleared. So now we can start in the plane. So let's get some charts. We're gonna come over here. I'm gonna close that for now, and we're gonna come over here and we're gonna put some plates in. So we're gonna go up here, and in ForeFlight, our routing is the same as we've been assigned. So we're gonna go to plates, add plates, go to Philly, and we'll get the departure plate to start with. DP Philly 2, and we'll get the taxi information, and we'll get the parking gates. And then we're going to go over to Boston, and we'll get the arrival, which is the star, which is the Roebuck 3 for runway 4 right, and we'll get the 4 right ILS plate, and we'll get the airport information and the parking, and we're going to
9,250,
I can't even read my own writing. Delta 8. Parking gates. Okay, we got all our plates. Go back to the map, and most likely on ForeFlight we're going to put in the taxi plate. So let's look at the gate assignments first. And we'll hit, and we're at, we're Bravo 8. Sorry. We're Bravo 7. Bravo 7, right down here on the end. And we'll go to circle number 8, and that's a spot on the runway when we push back. And go back to maps, plates, and we'll get the airport so we can know how to taxi. And we'll superimpose that on the map. And we're probably going to taxi out November, Sierra, Sierra 1. Juliet at spot 8, Juliet, November, cross 25 right, 27 right, November, Sierra. It's important to know how you're going to taxi before you call them, so you can write it down and at least little planning. So ForeFlight's done. Let's go over to Navigraph. And you know what I should be doing? I should be fueling up the plane before I do anything. So let's go into the the electronic flight bag, and we're going to into payload, and we're going to request fuel. And off our dispatch sheet, our fuel is 140111. 140111, excuse me. And I'll hit enter, and fuel truck, and we're confirming that fuel is coming in, and then we'll put our payload in, which is, remember we wrote that down on the sheet, 36.8? We'll put that in, 36.8. 36.8. This is where weights and balances become important, because we want the plane to be the same as SimBrief, to be the same as TopCat, so all of them match for performance purposes. It's, you can't get it perfect, but I'm working on it as far as trims and balances and where you put everybody. So we're fueling, and we usually don't do this, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to pre-plan our pushback. So to do that, we use better pushback. Let's see if I can show you that picture. I'm going to try to show that to you. Okay, there it is. And let me bring it up. Okay, here's the out the front view. So in X-plane, or yes, I'm going to click on in the electronic flight bag, ground services, and I'm going to click on better pushback and pre-plan. And that gives us a top-down view. And I know I can use my mouse and
408275.
I'm just going to push back and put it right over here. And hit enter.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
So my pushback is pre-planned. So we don't need this screen anymore. That's done. We're fueling. We're boarding. Everything looks good there. So we've done our pre-planning, our dispatch work, our Vatsim work, our for-flight work, we've got our electronic flight bag set up. We've got our Navigraph. Okay, so we're going to Navigraph now. So in Navigraph, on the Microsoft Surface here, we go up to Flights, and I use Air Manager to get, I use Navigraph, which links to X-Plane. So I'm going to go to the old flight and delete it, and hit New Flight, and from SimBrief, push that button. It says from SimBrief, and use KPHL to KBOS. And so it's going to pre-populate Navigraph with all my routing for this flight. It's really slick. So what I do is I come down to, and I touch on Philly, and this little red dot that shows the maps, and I come over here to the SID, and I pick the Philly 2, and that puts it in the bottom, the plate in the bottom, and I'll put the taxi plates in, and then I'll close that and scroll up to Boston, do the same thing. I'll touch on Boston and highlight all the charts for Boston, and the arrival is going to be the Roebuck for 4 right, and I'll click on that one. It puts it down in the tray, and then I'll do the approach, which we know is going to be 4 right for the ILS, and we'll grab that one. Then we'll go over to taxi plates and grab the airport information, and we'll grab the parking gates. Okay, so oops, that's not what I wanted. Let me get rid of that one. So let me go back to here, to taxi, parking gates. That's the one I want. Okay. So down along the bottom now, I'll just scroll through them. Airport plate, departure plate, arrival, star, the ILS plate, and the parking plate. Oh.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
I need the airport information. I mean the airport plate. And the reason we do this is we don't want to be searching for charts and plates when we're flying. And we can go between Navigraph and for-flight back and forth and pick the plates we want. We'll put ILS here and star here and flip them back and forth. It's really important to be able to get to your plates quickly so you can plan your navigation. We're all set here. We'll push this little button up here that shows us, it'll zero in on where we are. And it's showing right here, and you can see, I don't know if you can see a little dot. It's a moving map. Okay, and we'll do the same over here in for-flight, and it shows us right there. And there's nobody around us because the for-flight shows us all the Vatsim traffic. Okay, plates are done. Now let's go back into the plane. Let's see if anybody's yakking at us. Yeah, it is ZiboMod. Memendi, it is ZiboMod. And sorry, I'm not paying attention to the text too much because I got so many things going on in the plane. Okay, so coffee break. And if anybody's listening, is my volume sound okay? In the plane. Let's go back to the checklist. Just whack my head on this thing. Okay, checklist. We got the dispatch loaded. We've done all the originator stuff. pre-flight, leading edge devices. Okay. Oh, I was gonna put mics. I gotta do this someday. People keep asking me about this checklist. I want to put a link to it. I can't remember where the link was. Anyway, I guess we're not gonna do that right now. My buddy Mike Swanek made these checklists for me. He works on them all the time, and very nice for the 737 ZiboMod. So, leading edge devices, intercom's closed, the ECs are closed, engine reversers are off, flight recorder test is in progress, Mach airspeed warning and stall warning, passenger oxygen is normal, crew oxygen is sufficient, 3 green on the gears, and PSEU is off. We'll do the flow test. That passes, and we'll do a light check. And we'll start with the pedestal. It looks good. The flight fire control panel looks good. The CDUs look good. MIP, glare shield, overhead, and aft overhead all looks good on the lights. We're going to set up the NCP. We'll engage it, put the captain's side flight directors on, then the first officers. And before we can arm that, we have to do some more stuff down in the FMC first. So let's go to the FMC and start putting some information in. As you can see right up here, you can see my FMC. So here's our company route, and we're going to put it in company route, and we're going to be using runway 27 left. Hit enter, and we'll go to the departure plate, and on departure we're going to be using, it should have pre-populated with 27 left, and there is no SID, although it is the Philly 2. There it is, the Philly 2. I just grabbed it with no transition is what I meant to say. And then we'll do the arrival button, and on the arrival we're going to take the ILS 4 right, Goshi transition, the Roebuck 3 with the JFK transition, hit route, activate, execute, and now we go to performance initialization. So fuel is supposed to be 14,000, and you can see that it's 14,000. We'll put our ZFW in, which is 131.8 off the sheet. Reserves off the sheet are 2.4. Remember, this all got parsed from the OFP previously. Final reserves are 2.4. Cost index is 100. And our altitude is 230 today. Top of climb winds right there. Top of climb winds 276 at 50. 276 at 50. And ISA temperature is plus 8. We'll put 0, 8, and C for Celsius. Oops, C. Put that right in there. Everything in the performance initialization is entered. We'll hit the execute button, and we'll go to N1 limits. Now we're going to go back and get some TopCat information. We're going to open up TopCat, and we'll make it so you can see that also. Bear with me 1 second, please. And TopCat right there. Okay, so there's a couple of programs that do this. AppSoft for X-Plane is a really good one. I like TopCat. So here's our aircraft. Oops, I'm sorry. Here, TopCat. So here is, see if we can make this a little bigger for you. There we go. So here's a TopCat, and this is our plane we're using, and it's got the same information that SimBrief and ZiboMod has as far as weights. So we're going to go to weights and balances right there, and we'll put in our departure is Philly, and our arrival is Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra. And our alternate, and that's right off our little sheet that we printed out, is JFK. JFK. And hit enter and pick it. And then we'll clear out the fuel information. Clear that one and clear that one. And clear out passengers. So on this sheet, let's go through this aircraft information, trip data. All this has been brought over from SimBrief. Flight number, information, destination, distances, weights. Here's our weights. They should all be the same as in our SimBrief. Cargo information, weights and balances. So under passenger load, we're going to put in 147 passengers, okay, and that includes 250 pounds of baggage, I think, per passenger.
310 for American Airlines.
And our scheduled fuel load is 14,011. We'll put that in 14,011, and you can see right here that's 2,099 gallons, and our taxi out fuel is 250 pounds. And it gives you the remaining fuel, which is 13,761. We'll put that right in here, 13,761. That's a takeoff fuel. And that leaves us remaining fuel of 0. That's good. And the important thing to go down to next is the takeoff weight. It calculated, it says right down here, 145,553 pounds. And off our OFP, it says 145,554. So there's a difference of 1 pound. So under other, I'm going to put 8 pounds, and that'll make exactly. So under adults, you'll see we have 147, and then it's a domestic flight, and baggage is locked at 8,070 pounds. That's the baggage for 147 passengers. What is that? Just out of curiosity, let me do some math here. 55 pounds per bag they allow us, and then the standard weights for the, I don't put children and infants, it gets too complicated. So then we have cargo, and this says 3,750 pounds of cargo extra to give our total takeoff weight 145,554, and off our calculated, our dispatch sheet, it's exactly the same. So and then it'll give us our ZFW has already been populated, 131,793, and that is right off the sheet. It's already been brought in, and that is right on the money. So now I can go up to the takeoff button right here. It says takeoff, and the first thing you do is you update the weather. Weather source is NOAA, because I've tried Vatsim and it doesn't work. It says nothing there. So I go to NOAA weather, and I try active sky and see if it'll update. It doesn't update. So I use NOAA weather, which seems to be just fine. I update that, and it downloads all the pertinent weather information at Philly. So under airport runway, we're using Philly 27 left, heading 267. So we'll dial in heading 267. Oops, that's speed. Shh, I'm an idiot. 267. The slope is up 0.1. That'll be important in just a second. It gives us length information, width, clearance, all that other good stuff, all these codes for the runway. Wind information, 220 at 9. And so let's go back to the ATIS and just see if the ATIS has been updated for Philly. It is now information Bravo. And let's look at it on our little sheet here. I mean our iPad, because it's the easiest thing to get to. Departure at 23 at 1954 is 2:30 at 9, and that can 2:20 at 9. And they're saying 2:30 at 9. Okay, they match. 2:30 at 9. So the winds are 2:30 at 9. 10-mile visibility, still scattered at 6,500. 065 scattered at 25,000. 31 and 14 on the temperature and the dew point, and 3018 on the altimeter. And this is the latest update, so we'll set that. Okay, we're good on the and it's good in our TopCat information. So for configuration, the takeoff weight's important right there where it says takeoff weight. Right there. It says takeoff weight. That's important. We're going to use flaps 5 today. Our thrust configuration is TO. Air conditioner's on and no anti-ice required. So the whole purpose is to figure out how much thrust we need to take off. Instead of firewalling the engines and over revving them or stressing them, we want to reduce the thrust to the point where we can get off the ground and fly with one engine at V2, but still be able to have enough thrust, have enough stopping distance on the runway to stop the plane before. So we want to reduce the thrust, but still be able to stop the plane if we lose an engine before we take off. And so that's called V1 cut. That is the point at V1 we have to fly the plane. And we can fly the plane on one engine. So and we want to be able to stop the plane before V1 cut with no thrust reversers, because if we lose one engine, we don't want to use one thrust reverser. It might skew the plane into the ditch. So it's a pretty involved calculation, and that's what we're doing right now. So I'm going to hit this compute button, and what it's going to do is figure out for flaps 5 at this weight and at these weather conditions, we can use an assumed temperature. You can use two types of reduced temperature. You can use derate to just tell the engine, well, you're not really that powerful. The problem with derate is once you derate an engine in software, you can't firewall it. So what we use is assumed temperature. We actually tell the engine it's hotter outside than it really is. Thus, the engines think they're putting out less thrust. You can always firewall the engines to get more thrust if you need it, but this way you're reducing the thrust to a calculation and putting a little less stress on the engine. So that reduced thrust calculation is a slick way to do this, and there's a safety margin built in because we can still firewall the engines, and in reality we're getting more thrust than we're calculating anyway. It's pretty involved, and I don't understand everything. I don't know about it. So it gives us a list of temperatures here, a whole list of temperatures we can use. So we're going to go to the highest temperature we can use and still have enough margin. We'll still have 5,700 feet after V1 cut, after we stop the engine with just brakes. So that gives us a temperature, a faked out temperature. I call it a 41 degrees C. It's really 29 degrees C here at Philly, but we're going to tell it it's 41 degrees C. And that gives us, it reduces the thrust to 98.2 N1, and that should give us a takeoff of 146 on the V2. That's not the takeoff, that's the V2. So those are the numbers that are important. Also, we need to know the slope and the syntax to put it in the FMC. So the syntax, since it's plus, it'll be the letter U, D if it's down, 0.1/267. Let me show you where I get that from. You see right up here, it says slope plus 0.1, and then this heading. So in the FMC, we're going to put the letter U. Again, D if it's down, U if it's up. U 0.1/267. That's important information. We're going to do that right now. So that's all the information we need off of TopCat. So we'll we'll minimize TopCat. Delta 1441, welcome. Hope the volume's okay. Nobody's giving me a volume report. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this and go back to my FMC, and you can see our FMC is right up here in the corner, and this is my right down here behind the seat. We got the ForeFlight on the iPad and the Navigraph on the Microsoft Surface, which are over here in this side of the plane. Okay, so you can see over here in the N1 limits, we were looking for a select temperature, and that's at 41 degrees C, what we just spent the last 10 minutes trying to calculate. So I'm going to put that in 41. And what we're looking for is, oops, it says red. Okay, it says 97.8, and I really want 98.2. So I'll just decrease this temperature a little bit until I get 98.2. There's 98.1. Okay, I can live with that. And now I can go to the takeoff page. So in here we're using no D rate, 26,000 pound TO, no D rate, and our climb is going to be climb 2. I'm going to put just put it in. Well, I need to do a little more research into the climb ratings. There's climb 1, and climb 2. Different rates of climb, different steepnesses. The FMC is telling me climb -2. It's going to be a little slower but steeper. That's a different subject, and we'll get into that later. So I'm going to hit the takeoff page, and I'm going to go to page 2 on the takeoff, and it's asking for runway winds, and we know that is from the ATIS. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Is this the Mathis I know in the Netherlands? Thank you for the report on the. I don't think it is. I know a Mathis that's in the Netherlands at Flightdeck. Okay, so where was I? Let's look at the weather again. KPHL on 4 flight 220 at 9. So we'll put in 220 at 9. And runway slope, and remember I told you about the syntax. The syntax is important, so it's up 0.1/267, and we put 267 in here. We put that in there, and on this takeoff reference page 2 of 2, you can see it's dry, wet, or contaminated. So it's dry. Our acceleration height. D rates are all in here, multiple things. Everything else is good. We'll go back to page 1, and we'll put in flaps 5 and push center of gravity, and it's 19.8, which gives us a trim of 5.5, a V1 of 137, and the FMC is calculating it for us. It's saying it's recommending a V1 of 137, which will transfer in, a rotate of 139, and a V2 of 147. And let's look at our calculations from TopCat, and they tell us, let's look at that again. As long as we're doing this, we might as well do it right. And if you look here in the calculations, for 41 degrees C at 98.2 N1, we had a 142 V1, a 143 rotate, and a 146. Our FMC saying 137, 139. The important one is the V2, 146, which is in one knot of what's being calculated. Lots of math being done here, and to try to get the FMC and TopCat and the sim brief to all match is the challenge. So important thing is that the V2, which is the speed the plane will fly with one engine, climb out. That's the important one if we lose an engine. So let's go ahead and minimize that and close this. Oh, Hamburg, okay. I used to live in Wiesbaden. I went to high school in Wiesbaden for 4 years back in the 70s. Welcome. I've ridden a bike up the Rhine to pretty far up the Rhine. Not all the way to Hamburg. We went all the way up to Koblenz from Frankfurt. A couple times rode a bicycle. That's a different subject. So let me minimize this. So V gates. That's okay. Where am I? So we're going to put our 147 in here. We got our heading, and we got our restriction on the altitude. And FMC is done. And now we're going to go to the legs page and take the ditch and move it up. And we're going to look at our routing. And we can see it right here in the FMC, right behind here. We're going to be able to see, we'll put it in plan in the FMC, and we're going to step through it. So we're going to vector to ditch. That's a manual vector. So we'll put the VNav on, and it highlighted. We won't be using LNav because we'll use the heading select because it's a vector departure. And the heading select will activate at 400 feet. We preset it to 267, and you can see our FMC says fly 265 on departure. And we're going to vector to 265. We'll put 265 in, and we'll look at the chart when we get ready to take off. Probably when we take off, we'll leave it 267, we'll see. And then we'll vector to heading 109. So let's go to step through our waypoints. And there's ditch, and we're just going to step through all our waypoints. And where we do is we come over to ForeFlight, and we compare ForeFlight and FMC and Navigraph, all the waypoints to our FMC. So we've got 3 navigation programs. Actually, we got a bunch more, but we're going to confirm they're all the same. So we're just going to step through this and make sure it looks good. We're going up the coast, Ruiz, and there's the Roebuck where we start the arrival. Jody, that looks good. Indigoshi, which is the initial approach point for the ILS 4 right, and we come right in, and everything looks good. We're pleased with the routing. Our performance is done. So that means our autopilot is ready, our FMC is ready, everything's ready. So let's continue on with the pre-flight. We've done the aft overhead. Let's do the forward overhead. So we're going to do yaw damper on, and all the flight controls are in normal. The displays are in normal. We'll check the crossfeed. It's going to transition, and that's good. Fuel pump will just bleed the left port side forward pump on for the APU. We've got our voltmeter set. Galley is on. We're still on ground power. That's all set. Check that. Lights are good. We're going to use the engine start for the right for the first flight of the day. Equipment cooling's in normal. Equipment lighting is armed. And we'll get everybody in their seats.
The seatbelt sign is on. Please be seated and fasten your seatbelt.
Okay. And that's good. Window heat test and overheat test is in progress. TAT test. We'll close that in a minute. Hydraulics are good. The engine number 2 is the only one on. It obviously won't give us pressure until the engine's running. We definitely don't want to have the electrics on because mainly because when we go to push back, if the electric hydraulic pumps are on, we could pressurize the nose gear and hurt somebody on the ground crew. Very important to have those off. Forward entry and cargoes, we're going to close those. We'll come over here to to electronic flight bag, ground services, doors, and we'll close all those babies up. So they should be closing up. Okay, we'll test, we did a TAT test, we did a flight recorder test. Temperatures look good, the trim air is on. We already did that. Overheat body test is in progress and passed. Bleeds are set, packs are auto. We'll push this and it should give us the transfer from the FMC up to the pressurization panel. Our flight altitude 23,000. Our landing altitude is 0 at Boston. At Philly it's also the same. So we'll check our outflow now. We'll try alternates good and manual, and we'll test that. Close and open. Set that back to there. And lights are all good. Okay, we're going to do a TCAS test now.
Adjust vertical speed.
And we'll lock the door.
Now.
The stab trim is in normal. Everything is trimmed out in 0. We're going to go into our Sasha. How you doing?
Conflict. Descend, 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 crossing, descend.
Good to see you, Sasha.
Descend, crossing, descend, descend.
So I'm going to go
descend now.
into
Descend now.
failures
Increase
and make sure we don't
climb.
have any failures.
Increase climb. Increase
That's good.
Descent. Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain. Maintain vertical speed.
Going down my checklist
Crossing.
now.
Maintain.
Bleeds,
Monitor
pressurization.
vertical speed. TCAS test.
And we're going to do a proximity warning test. The long version, you hold it down until the light comes on. The first one of the day is the long version. Exterior lights, ignition set, ATIS obtained, clearance, we've got that. CD user program, VHFs we've already done. EFIS panels, we're going to put VSD on this side, and we're good there. Mode control panel is done. Clock is set correctly. Nose wheel steering guarded and set and guarded.
Decision height.
Main panel DU. So we'll put the main panel DU so you can see us starting the engines. Auto flight annunciator test. You lift it up to number 1, it should be 3 ambers, and down should be 2 reds and an amber. And then we'll use fuel flow reset. N1 is the auto, speed refs auto brake is the RTO. Flaps are down, speed brakes are down, reversers are down. Thrust configuration alarm for number 1, and thrust configuration for number 2. Okay, let's do our squib test and our cargo fire test. That's all good, and clear that. Let's see. Transponder. I'm going to start the APU. And fire up the APU. Okay, we'll turn some fuel pumps on. And that's good. Stabilizer trim test. We haven't done that. So stabilizer trim test. In the throttle quadrant, there's 2. One for autopilot, one for main electric. We're going to test to make sure we can shut off the trim, electric trim, in an emergency. I.e., we don't crash the plane like a Jetmax. This is the switch they didn't turn off. So we're going to set our trim. You can see it trimming, and we're going to shut that off, and the trim stops. And turn it back on, and it works. This keeps the electric trim from running away. There's one for autopilot, but since we don't have the autopilot on, we can't test it. This is the manual trim, and we're going to preset our trim to 5.5, which we've calculated previously. That's an important one. Okay, we've confirmed 0 fuel weight. The N1s are good. The reduced temperature is set. Okay, V1 speeds are set. Stab trims is confirmed. Fuel pumps as required. APU is start. Set gate for departure. So we're at gate Bravo 7. Pushback time noted. Let's call for a tug. Got our pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Oh, thank you very much, Mathis. Yeah, Brits are hard to understand, aren't they? The German English is better than the Brit English. Yeah, I've ridden bicycles from Wiesbaden to Germany. They're neighbors. I lived in Wiesbaden for 4 years. Okay, I'm gonna set the parking brake. Tug is coming up, and we're gonna plan on a 20-40 push. And let's check our. Let's go check our V-pilot. X-pilot Vatsim. So we're still on information Bravo with New York Center.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Yes, I agree. Okay, I gotta get some coffee and get my brain back into flying instead of planning. Get everything. Let's go ahead and set the transponder on.
Inserted. Release parking brake.
And start the anti-collision light and call for, no, we don't have to call for push. What we do have to make sure is there's nobody behind us. And there's nobody behind us, and we're going to push at 2038 Zulu. And off our comms meter, whoa, we just lost everything. Why did we lose the APU? Oh, that was my mistake. I started APU, I didn't transfer it over, and I moved the gate away, and they pulled the plug. Yeah. And that went out. It was first officer's fault. Yeah, we lost power. You ever been in a plane and you lose power, and then it comes back on all of a sudden? It's because the first officer messed up. Okay. And let me know if you guys can hear ATC when they come on. I can't tell if it's good enough for you. So I'm ready to push. And attendant notified. It's all set. We'll set the packs to off. Pressurization is good. And we're going to start number 2 first. So here goes. Brake off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, so pushback time noted. Bleed air is set. Start pressure adequate. Collision light is on. Starting number 2. And we'll put it to ground. And on the screen, you can see that the N2 is coming up.
Also, please turn off all electronic devices. Thank you.
And we'll let it get to max motoring. Which is about 25% N2. There we go. We'll lift the fuel handle, and we've got light off. Fortunately, light off happens before fuel flow, which is not possible. It's something that probably needs to be looked at. Fuel flow should happen before light off. Most people don't notice it, but it's not bueno. And I got this, and it kicked out, and now we're going to start number 1. Put it to ground. We go check and make sure that we're visible on our network.
5,000, pressure 249.
And we've got max motoring. We'll start number 1, and we've got light off, fuel flow. And we are visible on our website. Okay.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, parking brake on.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And let's get a little more light. Lights. Oh, I know why I get the lights turned down, because of the glare on these screens right here. Okay. We're waiting for the tug to get pulled. And you might notice, you might be able to notice they're dropping the nose from the tug. They lift the nose up and they lower it down. It's kind of fun to watch it going down. And it's going down. I'd like to put some more light in here, but the problem is I get this glare on these screens that I'm trying to show you.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a great flight.
Okay, let's do before taxi checklist. Fuel cutoff levers are up, engine generators are on, and power is confirmed. I checked the generator, the rectifiers on both. That's good. That's all good on both engines. AC voltmeter is good. Probe heats are on. We're done with our overheat test. We can recycle that. Shut our voice recorder test. Turn on the hydraulic pumps. Bleeds. We'll set the engine bleeds on. APU bleed off. Isolation valve to auto. Packs to auto. Confirm the temperature, and the pressurization looks good. We're all good there. Turn the APU off. Engine starts to continuous. We'll turn it to the left for the next flight of the day. Master caution is clear. Set the flaps for takeoff. Confirm fuel is correct off the OFP, and it is, and the oil quantity is good. Weather radar, we'll put terrain for the captain side and weather for the first officer side, and let's do a flight control test. We'll do pitch and roll and the rudders, and we got We got that screen problem here. We're going to try to fix this little screen problem here. There we go. That should fix that. And we'll put it back to here. Yeah, we got this little screen problem. We move that screen around. Okay. I can turn off this screen down here because we don't need it after get everything set up. Engine's good. Terrain is set. We're ready to taxi out. Let's call New York Center with Bravo. Again, check the volume when I talk to the center and tell me if it's okay. At spot 8. I'm going to creep up to spot 8 up here. Attendant notified. Creep up to spot 8.
If I can get everyone's attention, we will now review safety information regarding the flight today. When you see the seatbelt sign illuminate, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the metal fitting, one into the other, and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. You can release your seatbelt by lifting the upper portion of the buckle. It's preferred that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight in case of turbulence. There are several emergency exits throughout this plane. Please take a moment.
Philly 2, 7134,
Your nearest exit might be
and
if you need to evacuate the aircraft, floor level lighting will guide
what's the other thing they wanted to know?
Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction
Let's
of the arrow. Each door is equipped with an inflatable
let's take a
slide
look.
that can be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and air pressure are always monitored throughout the flight.
And current
If
ATIS
compression occurs,
with
an oxygen
Bravo.
mask will fall from the ceiling in front of you. To
Let's
start
call
the flow of oxygen,
New York Center,
oxygen
American
ports
2,
place
Philly
firmly
spot
over your mouth
8,
and nose.
with the Philly
Secure
2
the
squawking
oxygen inside your head
7134
and
with
breathe
Bravo.
normally. It might seem like the bag isn't inflating,
Ready taxi
but
active.
oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you're traveling with a child or someone who needs help, please secure your own mask first. After that, you
Air
can
approach
secure
Delta
the mask.
120 with whiskey crossing Lizzie at 10,000.
In the event of an emergency, please assume the braces
Locked.
position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs, ensuring your feet are flat on the floor. Life vests are located in a pouch under your seat between the armrests.
Expect vectors for the ILS 22 approach, altimeter 3016.
Adjust the straps at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord when leaving the aircraft. If you need to rebuild the vest, blow into the mouthpiece.
Good afternoon,
Also use the whistle and light to attract attention. Your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. Electronic devices like phones and laptop computers may be used only when the seatbelt sign is on and when permitted by the crew. Mobile phones must remain off throughout the flight. Remember that this is a non-smoking flight. Also, damaging the smoke detectors in the lavatories is prohibited by law.
New York approach, American 2.
You will find all safety information in a card located in the seat pocket in front of you. It is recommended that you read it before we take off. If you have any questions, please ask myself or another crew member. We hope you enjoy your flight.
New York approach, American 2, copy.
210, then 4,000, I'm second 14.
Okay, he's not hearing me. New York approach, American 2.
Maintain 250, Delta 120.
Direct the old man, I'm second 14.
Millville Muni weather. Wind 240 at 8, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 30, dew point 14. Altimeter 3019.
Descend 9,000, Delta 120.
Okay, let's try this again.
Cross Hillman at or above 3,000, clear for ILS 22 approach, effective
Millville Muni weather. Wind 240 at 8,
We
visibility
got sound
more than
problems.
10. Sky clear, temperature
Test, test, test. Okay, that's all good. Okay. Test, test, test.
32 on the 401. 532 stand up for
Pre-departure clearance stat at 1941 Zulu, call sign American 2, equipment's a Boeing 738. Test, test, test. Okay, I think we're back. We got that resolved. Let's try again. New York Center, American 2 at Philly, spot 8. Ready to taxi to the active, squawking 7134 with Bravo.
8,000, Delta 120.
New York Center, American 2.
Down to 4,000 for 5 to go off.
New York Center, American 2. New York Approach, American 2.
Delta 120.
The problem with Unicom is they can't hear me. Oh, hey, Pikatanga, try Unicom. Okay. New York City, American 2. New York approach, American 2. Radio check on 122.8. Okay, I'm not having any luck with audio. I can hear them. They can't hear me. New York Center, 125.32.
Lufthansa 401, contact Boston Center 134.7.
134.7, Lufthansa 401, Quebec, cheers.
New York Center, American 2, copy.
American 2, New York, good afternoon, contact tower 118.5.
18.5, American 2. Okay, tower heard me, 118.5. They swapped over, that's what's going on. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I checked the sound level, Duncan, it looked good. I got hold of center and they told me tower just came on. It's all good. Let's see. Okay, we're all good and call tower now. And New York 1-2. Philly Tower, American 2, spot 8. For the Philly 2, taxi to the active, squawking 7134 with Bravo.
American 2, Philadelphia Tower, runway 27 left. Taxi via November, Sierra 3, cross runway 27 right.
That's 27 left, cross November, Sierra 3, cross 27 right for American 2. Thank you. Okay, we're good there. It took forever to figure out. Thank you, Duncan. I am gonna put my charts up. Got my taxi chart here, straight ahead on November. Attendant notified, all good. And let's roll on out. It's taking about an hour or so to get this flight set up. Crew service wanted to know if they could make me a sandwich. Okay, we're going to cross 27 right. This is November, Sierra 3. We got somebody coming in over here. Looks like they're coming in on 27 left. He's a big guy. It's a UPS plane. You should see him passing right in front of me. He should dip down right below the window. Looks like it's 767. See him right there? Big guy. Nice. Very nice. Okay, we're going to hang a left here on Sierra. This is Papa.
UPS 1445, beautiful landing, exit right Kilo 4, or exit right Sierra 7, when able. Where you headed? We're actually just going to exit left here on Yankee, straight to the ramp, if that's okay. Yeah, absolutely, forget your UPS, you can exit right on Yankee and continue to the ramp. See ya, welcome to Philadelphia. Right, left on Yankee to the ramp, UPS 1445, having seen.
And here we are, holding short. Let's check that weather one more time. 3016. It's good. Philly Tower, American 2, holding short, 27 left at Sierra 3, ready to go.
American 2, turn left heading 230. Winds are 230 at 9 on runway, 27 left, clear for takeoff.
27 left, clear for takeoff, American 2, and I'd like to confirm that UPS landing was superb.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, rolling out. Lights, camera, action.
Flight path, please be seated for departure.
And we're going to hit 230 on takeoff.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Is the volume on Vatsim sound okay? I can't tell. Okay. Okay, all set to go. And we'll run it up to 40%. And give it a toga. Here we go. Temperatures are stabilized, N1 looks good. And we got tape alive.
80 knots.
And thrust hold. A little windy here. Through 100 knots.
V1, rotate.
Confirmed.
Positive rate.
And confirmed. And we're going to head to 230.
400.
And Tower American 2 is through 1100 for 5,000, turning 230.
American 2, contact New York Center, 25325. See ya.
Please repeat that frequency for American 2.
American 2, contact New York Center, 125325. See ya.
125325 American 2. 125, let's fly the plane first, Pat. 1253 and 32. Let's get the flaps up. In New York Center, American 2 through 2300 out of Philly, heading 230 to 5000.
Endeavor 3950, squawk 7141.
Let's put that autopilot on. Nope, doesn't like that.
American 2, New York Center, radar contact, consider a ditch, climb and maintain 12000.
Ditch 12000, American 2. We'll just fly it.
Turning 358, radar contact, cross Heckman and maintain 900,000 to Philadelphia, altimeter 3018.
Third wing 358, Heckman is 900,000, altimeter 3018.
And we're going to turn it to ditch.
358, it is Bravo.
1,000 to go.
At Philadelphia, expect runway 27 right.
Okay, flaps are up. Accelerating to 250, turn into ditch.
5 Mike Tango, cleared ILS, runway 22 left approach.
Cleared ILS, runway 22 left approach, 5 Mike Tango.
And 12000, he said.
New York Center, Frontier Flight 867.
12000. There we go, it's coming up.
Frontier
That's why it wasn't coming up.
New York, Frontier Flight 867.
Turn into ditch. Thanks, Sasha.
Frontier Flight 867, Rochester Airport's under Cleveland Center's control. However, they are signing off line at this time. Monitor advisory on 122.8 for departure.
Why is that speed coming down so hard? Climbing a little too hard.
Thank you.
Climbing a little too hard. Pay attention. I get lost in other stuff and I lose attention to what I
Mike Tango, my
should be
2-2
doing,
left, clear to land.
which is flying.
2-2 left, clear to land, 5 Mike Tango.
If I was on
4862, contact
pilot,
Boston Center,
if I was on autopilot, I wouldn't have this problem.
134.7, Metro 4862.
And we'll fly to about.
Aircraft Newark Airport 8 is Bravo, current Newark altimeter.
We'll fly it up to about 10,000.
15.
Come on, baby.
Newark Center, good afternoon. Avelo 107 with you, flight level 370.
Okay, we're gonna put the autopilot on
Checking
now.
in, Spring 1702 at 33, New York Center, Roger.
And we'll go
Avelo
LNAV,
107, New York Center, squawk
ditch.
7147.
LNAV,
7147, it's below 107. American 2, climb maintain, flight level 230.
230 for American 2.
Unit 2639, descend maintain 4000.
You know, I think the problem with the frequency
to
before wasn't
4,000.
me, it was a Newark approach. So through 10,000, after takeoff checklist, and we're on course and accelerating. Autopilot is engaged, attendant notified.
Avelo 2, correction, Avelo 107.
Pressurization, and we got about 2,000 feet of pressurization in the cabin with 4 pounds, and a positive rate of climb. Bleeds, engine bleeds are on, APU bleed is off, isolation valve is auto, packs are auto. APU is off. Engine start switches are off. Lights are off. And logo's off. Wing lights off. Landing gear is locked. And RTO is off. Should be an auto. And we're coming up on ditch. Electrical power looks good. Hydraulics. Let's look at the hydraulics.
Well, 292 radar contact, 19 miles southwest of Seattle.
Pressure's good.
290.
Hydraulics look good. Flow rate is 6,000 pounds per hour. It looks good. We'll go to progress page. We'll have 8,000 pounds when we arrive in Boston. Engine status is good. Plan the flight. So let's go to fix page and put in Boston. KBOS. And I'll put a 100-mile circle in there, and a 30-mile circle, and a 10-mile circle. And we'll also look at the arrival. And let's see where we're at.
Delta 530 New York, squawk 7124.
The last point on the arrival is Goshi at, put a fix in here for Goshi.
Delta 530 radar contact, bearing 358, descend maintain 8,000.
And we're going to maintain a heading of doesn't say what the heading.
United 2639, descend maintain 3,000.
35 degrees.
Descend maintain 3,000.
Oh, 35. This is to remind us
aircraft Philadelphia 8 is Charlie,
not to change heading at that last waypoint on the arrival. And then we'll put a fix in for the missed approach, which is going to be in the ILS plate. And that's going to be
Avelo 292, descend maintain for level 210.
approach. Vatsim.
Who is checking in?
Okay, that's all set. Go over here.
Devon 3950, are you looking for taxi, sorry?
Let me see if I can look at the chat.
Taxi Alpha. Correction, United 2639, flighting 130. Flighting 130 for 2639. 5 Mike Tango across from my 22 right on November, turn right on Delta, then taxi via Delta.
Explain.
Bravo, Romeo, Zulu, correction, Romeo, hold short for my 29er.
The Philly 2 departure, we're still on that. Let's look at Robbinsville, RB 113.8.
Mike Taylor crossing my 22 right, thanks via Delta, Bravo, Romeo, hold it short, or my 29er.
And
Okay, I got cross 22 at Delta, then continue to Delta, Bravo, Romeo, hold short, 29er. Spirit 1702, cross market, 51180.
Cross market 180, Spirit
oh, I got lunch in the cockpit. Crew services. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Crew services.
1218 New York Center, climb maintain, flight level 230.
Nothing better. No kissies?
Spirit 358, 718, 6000.
358, descend maintain 6000.
New York Center, good evening, American 485.
Crew services. Toasted turkey sandwich and a peach. Doesn't get better.
American 485, New York Center, squawk 7113.
Squawk code 7113, American 485.
New York Center, American 68, 7370, we are 73 at that Roebuck, or the Robbinsville Bueller.
American 7, American 658, New York, squawk 7161.
161, American 68.
03950, where am I heading? Away 31, clear for takeoff. American 485, your radar contact 7 Southwest at CL, cross hogs at maintain, flight level 180.
On approach, is maintain 180.
At cross hogs. I sure you're after Sierra Andy Echo, you weren't filed for something. Are you playing the Cameron for arrival?
Prepared, continue on Candy for arrival, American 485, send maintain 182.
45 right across hogs at flight level 180.
That's hogs on flight level 180, American 485.
JetBlue 1218. Let's see, clear direct Yazoo and expect higher shortly. Direct Yazoo and we'll expect higher shortly. JetBlue 1218.
Center American 2324, leveling 12,000, direct wavy.
American 2324, New York Center, climb maintain, level
1,000 to go.
230, American 2320. Spirit wings 358, set maintain 4,000.
Wings 358, descend maintain 4000.
American 658, New York Center, radar contact.
Treats.
American 658, thanks.
JetBlue 1481, contact Boston Center 134.7.
Treats in the plane.
And Newark approach, this is United 2639. We're going to get turned back towards Newark here shortly. United 2639, turn, let's see, just fly your present heading for now. We're flying to flight of present heading.
That's all. Doggy had to come in and get her treats in the cockpit. I get my lunch and the doggy expects her lunch too, and she came in here looking for it. That's pretty funny.
United 2639, traffic 9 o'clock, 3.5 miles southbound at 2000 to Boeing 737, no factor, turn left heading 340. Left turn heading 340, we have the traffic. And I lost call in the center, Endeavor 3950, radar contact, climb maintain,
Yes,
level 360.
dog is my co-pilot.
Who is checking in?
391 checking in, 640.
391, New York City, ready. JetBlue 1218, climb to leave, flight level 220, within 3 minutes or less, climb and maintain, flight level 340 for traffic, out of 22 in 3 minutes or less, climb and maintain, flight level 340. Say again, sorry. JetBlue 1218, climb to leave, flight level 220 within 3 minutes or less, climb and maintain, flight level 340.
True.
220 in 3 minutes and climb maintain, flight level 340, JetBlue 1218, I think that's right. Affirmative. South of 22 in 3 minutes or less. Break. Steering 358, turn left heading 360 to descend maintain 3000.
Steering 358, left heading 360 to descend maintain 3000.
Velo 107, traffic 12 o'clock, 100 miles southwestbound and leaving Featherville 200, climbing to Featherville 340 is an Airbus 321.
We'll call when we see the traffic of Velo 107.
Lunch.
UDI 2639, turn left heading 260.
Left turn heading 260 for 2639.
Denver 3950, clear deck Phillipsburg.
You on the traffic of Velo 107.
Eat my feet.
107
Eat
for
my
traffic,
peach
turn
now.
15 degrees to your left. Traffic's going to climb through your exit disregard.
We'll disregard of Velo 107.
Okay, we're to cruise.
Southwest calling New York, standby. The 107, that traffic's going to pass up your right.
Can we go ahead and start service?
American 2324, turn 15 degrees to your left, vectors for traffic.
Sub 15 left for American 23.
Affirmative 15, 15 degrees left.
15 left, American 23, 24.
So 127 additional traffic, 12 to 1 o'clock, 900 miles southbound out of 21.5, climbing to 23 is an Airbus. Corrections about 737, I'll pass about.
Crossing over New York City, you can see the Upper Sound, the Atlantic, and Long Island.
Steering 358, turn left heading 240, and accept the localizer.
Steering 358, left 240, instead localizer to some right.
Steering 1702, cross Bali at 13,000, Allentown altimeter 3016.
Cross Biley at 13,000, 3016 at the meter, Spirit Ring 1702.
United 2639, flighting 250, intercept the localizer.
Heading 250, then intercept the localizer, 2639.
American 2324, cleared, direct Norfolk, climb maintain, Featherville 340.
Say again for American 2324.
Clear direct Oscar, Romeo, Foxtrot, climb maintain, Featherville 340.
Direct Norfolk 340, American 2320.
Navy Center, King Air 5 Mike Tango, South Road 29er.
Number 5 Mike Tango, cross from my 29er, turn left on Zulu and taxi to the ramp.
Cross 29er, left on Zulu to the ramp for 5 Mike Tango.
Velo 128, correction, Velo 127, traffic no factor, descend maintain 1000, Kennedy, altimeter 3019er.
Descend maintain 11,000, Velo 107.
Okay, lunch is done, except for the chocolate.
American 85, maintaining 18,000.
Bit of chocolate.
45, cross Cameron at 11,000 and 250 knots, Kennedy, altimeter 3019er.
Cross Can, 11,000 and 250 speed, American 45.
Delta 530, clear direct news, cross news at Featherville 270.
Featherville 270, Delta 430, 530.
That's verified, clear direct news.
Turn direct news for Delta 530. Turn direct to sound Delta 61.
Delta 261, cross Landy at Featherville 190 and 250 knots.
Ending out to 190 and speed 25, Delta.
Okay. Sasha wants to get the briefing for the arrival. We're 86 miles out, so let's go ahead and do that.
Doing 358, clear to ILS, runway 27 right approach.
First thing we're going to do is hear some of these old charts.
358, clear to ILS to some right.
Philly. We'll put into
Velo
Boston.
292, descend maintain
ILS.
1000, Kennedy, altimeter 3019er.
Maintain 11,000, 019er.
Okay, and we'll put in the Roebuck 3. Got that in there. Let's get the weather for Boston.
American 2, Boston Center, 134.7.
134.7, America 2. Thank you. Let's see, what's the weather? No ATIS. Boston Center, American 2 with you, flight level 230 for the Roebuck 3.
American 2, Boston Center, hello, Kodak Roebuck.
Direct Roebuck, American 2.
32122, cross right 4 left, turn left on November.
Okay, he gave us direct Roebuck.
Cross 4 left, left November 2122.
I'll move that up, go there.
427, turn right heading 310.
And let's get the weather in Boston.
Running 310.
I don't see an ATIS.
3 is the airport or the helipad within the Delta or no?
Okay.
Negative, it's about half mile.
You know, I don't have anyone between you and the hospital. Radar service turn right, squawk fire, free to change
Okay, Boston, information, Mike.
Boston Center,
At 2045 Zulu. Winds are 250 at 6.
107 Boston, hello, cross right, status maintain
Sky is
9,000.
scattered at 7,000.
9,000 available 107.
Broken at 25,000. Temperature's 28 and 11.
22122, cross 2115 right at November, then Alpha Echo to the gate. Have a good day.
And I still don't see. Let's see if there's an ATIS for Boston.
Yeah, Boston Center, Twin Beach 8492 Zulu is number 1 for departure at Northern Rustic. Alright, 492 Zulu, roger, 1 second. Delta 427, turn right heading 010, join the localizer.
Running 010, join the localizer.
Put the bat spy up for this.
427.
And
68 Charlie Delta, wind 220 at 7, runway 33, clear to land.
here's the ATIS
clear to land, experiment for
Boston.
Charlie Delta.
American 2, expect runway 27 today, runway change to Boston.
Set up for 27 for American 2, thank you.
And let's see here, Delta 427, 3 miles from Mills, maintain 2,000 until established on the localizer, clear ILS
November.
right approach.
2,000 to the San Francisco, ILS 4 right approach, Delta,
ILS 27. Okay.
Boston Center, Caravan 220, Whiskey Lima,
Okay, first things first. We'll get
1226, welcome back, Tango to the ramp, take care.
Tango to the ramp, thanks for allowing Poker.
And we'll get the approach.
1481, descend via the J Fund to arrival, runway 4 right, Boston altimeter 3013.
With the
that one.
J Fund 2013.
And we'll come over here and get a play here.
Expect 27.
You're correct, my bad, runway 27, thanks for catching that.
Okay, Boston.
No problem,
ILS
427, wind 2506, runway 4 right, clear to land.
ILS.
That's
Done.
so we'll have to go around with
Maps.
got a flight strong tailwind to lots of change
Still
from
a 4 right, wrong one.
So what does it show right now?
27.
We're currently getting like 11 knots, 169, and we're having trouble with our speed, Delta 427.
111.3.
That's it. Alright.
Okay, and that's 272.
Boston Center, good evening, up to 530 with you crossing news of flight level 270.
Okay, so let's go into here.
530, Boston
And
Center,
do the
hello,
arrival.
Roebuck, descend and maintain, flight level
Delete
230.
that one. Delete that one.
Flight level 230 to 430.
And go to
Hello,
ILS.
107, contact New York approach, 128.12, have a good day.
Robot.
128.1 for available 107,
Step through it.
today.
2812,
Let's step through it.
2812 for available 107.
Okay, that's good. And let's go over here
2012
and
available.
change this.
of the 427, fighting 040, climb and maintain 3000.
Arrival is the Robot 3, JFK,
4862
7.
at Goshi, cleared ILS 24 right approach.
and let's see, we're still good there. And we should start setting 40 miles. Go to approach plate.
310, thanks, welcome to Syracuse Alpha to the gate, good job with IFR 15.
Oh.
292 Boston Center, cross right.
If I zoom in, you
south.
can't see the Navigraph and the iPad, both of them. You can only see one. I'd like to have both of them up. Hold on. Yeah, remember this is the first time I've done this, so I'm just kind of learning.
Boston Center, Caravan 220 was good.
Oh, zoom in like that, yeah. Okay, so I'm just getting the plates up. Let me repack here. And we're going direct there. And we'll come in here. Let's walk through this again. Yeah, that's good.
Boston Center, FedEx
Legs.
2364 Heavy is at a kilo rated taxi.
Pattern altitude, we're all packed there.
Boston Center, hello.
6,000.
It is a change to November. Are you set up for 22 right?
Elevation 0.
9, but I can set up to 2 right real quick, no problem.
And altimeter is
Stop there, let me
3013.
know when you set up for 22 right and when you're ready to move.
And this is the neat part. I want to show you this. This is really neat. Go into the descent page, forecast, right there.
Via the Roebuck for your arrival, runway 27, Boston altimeter 3013.
Descended by the Roebuck 427, American right, American 2, 27 right. Uplink. 27, excuse me.
Level 292, contact
So,
approach
you look at the uplink page, right there, uplink, and hit execute, and it puts in all the descent information, and I'll put in the correct altimeter.
27 approach, Delta.
Right there.
Number 220, Whiskey Lima,
And
Boston
do
Center,
flaps
go ahead,
30.
City 1V somewhere.
Flaps 30.
It's looking for foot knowledge from.
And we're looking at 250 at 6.
220, Whiskey Lima, clear out of the Boston Clouds Bravo airspace,
And
maintain VFR
this
at 3000,
runway
squawk
27
4730.
I figured out the ground 3000. This
is 7,000. Fly at,
220, Whiskey Lima, reback, correct, advise, rate 2.
we got descent in 19 miles. I could do flaps 40, I think.
Leaving my airspace, Moncton's closed, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, take care.
And let's do some calculations. We're going to go into the
Boston FedEx 23,
electronic flight bag and go to performance landing
runway 22 right, taxi via
and go to
Kilo
27.
Bravo November, cross runway 15 right,
27 there,
runway 15
and winds are
Kilo Bravo November, cross 15 right,
250 at 6.
15 left, FedEx 23, stick to port. Delta 730, cross
Temperature at 28.
LaGuardia altimeter 3016.
And altimeter is 3013. 30.8.
650 Boston Center, hello, November is now current, clear to Roebuck and descend and maintain flight level 230.
And flaps 30, and landing weight off the sheet is 140.302. 40.302, and we can do brakes 3. That's what our calculation shows. And we're going to roll off the end on this baby. Yeah, 27 we can roll right to the end. And parking gate today is
4862 wind 2506 runway 4 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 4 right, Metro 4862.
Anyone else waiting on anything?
ham and cheese sandwich.
Set 1152, contact New York
Okay,
Center 125.3.
so on the descent,
Take care.
Oshi 6000. He says we can descend on the arrival. Last fix on the arrival is 6,000 at Goshi. Get everybody back to their seats.
Echo Charlie to ramp, take care.
Zoom in on the camera.
Can we go ahead and start service?
Yeah, if I zoom in on the camera, you can't see both of them. You can only see one or the other.
Take care.
That's the problem. If I zoom in on this one, you won't be able to see that one. So we got the camera in the back. And we got this camera here.
Service terminated. Frequency change period. Take care.
Okay, let me hold on. Philly Tower. So we're gonna have center all the way in.
And lot 7 also leaving my airspace. Moncton's closed. Radar service terminated. Frequency change period. Have a good day.
And we started our descent. And turn that on. Turn that on. Go to electronic flight bag.
At Northern Aroostook.
And descent.
Delta 427, turn right heading 180. We're heading 180, Delta.
Look at our sheet here.
492 Zulu, release for departure, clearance point at 21409. Everyone by then, advise me after intentions no later than 2145. 10 out 2130,
Go to
advisory,
VSD.
frequency approved, talk to you in a bit.
We're good there.
For departure,
So 111 on the 27, 111.3. That's confirmed. 272. The Boston VOR is 112.7.
2364 heavy, go behind the caravan opposite direction. Go back caravan opposite direction, FedEx 2364 heavy. So 530 descend via the Roebuck 3 arrival, runway 2.
Okay, looking at the VSD here, you can see that our descent profile looks good. I'm going to tune this in a little bit.
It's 1724, cleared direct to J Fund.
Direct J Fund, United 1724.
At the 427, turn right heading 240, join the localizer.
Alright, 240, join the localizer, Delta 27.
November 220, Whiskey Lima, cross, running 15 left in November.
Press 15 left, November 220, Whiskey Lima.
Okay, we're all dialed in there.
November 714, Whiskey Hotel is a Romeo Victor 14 at that
Slash 4,000.
Number
714, Whiskey Hotel, Boston Center, runway 29er, taxi via, let's see, taxi via Mike Echo, cross runway 5.
Transition altitude.
Mike Echo, cross runway 5, runway
3018.
4862, just double checking, runway 4 right, clear to land. Yep, clear to land, runway 4 right, Metro 4862. American 658 for space into Boston, maintain 280 knots. 280 knots, American 658. In 28 is November, currently expect the ILS, runway 27 approach.
ILS 27 right approach, and we have November on board, American 2.
That's 27, no right or left, just 27.
I keep saying right, my apologies, 27.
Delta 538 is November, currently expect the ILS, runway 27 approach.
Post 27, we have November, Delta 530.
Delta 427, 5 miles from Loner, maintain 3,000 until
okay, so we've got 220 at 8.
ILS 27 approach.
Maintain 3,000 still established, cleared ILS 27 approach, Delta Hall 27.
Okay, I can live with 40.
Good afternoon,
Up to 40.
Impossible, Boston.
Okay, speed's coming down. We'll arm the speed brake is armed.
Okay. November 1 Papa, wing sign for 18 is approved, cleared to the Prescott Airport. Actually, you're going eastbound, so what else do you want eastbound?
Yeah, this is new with the camera and showing this. I got to work on that a little bit.
1 Papa, cleared to the Prescott Airport as filed, climb and maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 250, 1 minutes after departure. Squawk 47.
But Sasha, I'll keep in mind.
This frequency passing 5,000. Squawk 4746 and hold for release.
Coming down through 14,000. And we're slowing down. We kind of need to be down to 11,000 at Providence.
Probably certified 7,000 initial.
Okay, here we go. We're coming down.
Number 1 Pop, back, corrective odds, number 1 at the runway, ready for departure.
Okay.
American 658, maintain 260 knots.
I think we're done with this sheet for a while.
So 427, wind 250 at 61827, clear to land.
27, clear to land, Delta 247.
X2364 heavy, cross running 15 left in November.
15 left in November, FedEx 2364.
American 658, descend via the Roebuck arrival runway 27.
We're coming in at 27. We're just going to roll to the end and exit at Kilo. And we're going to Bravo 8.
Delta 730, contact New York approach 128.12, take care.
Kilo all the way around. We're good.
Delta 730, 4862, welcome to Boston. Taxi out to runway 33 right and hold short at runway 4 left.
On to 33 right, hold short, runway 4 left, Metro 4862.
220 Whiskey Lima, turn right heading 240, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
22 right, clear for takeoff, heading 240, 220. Boston Center, Twin Cessna 781 Lima Delta is ready to copy IFR Cleveland Hopkins. And
so on this one I put the ILS plate,
Lima, Delta, Boston Center,
and so talking about that, let's put the minimums in.
3 departure, radar vectors Highland, then as filed.
443.
Maintain 3,000, squawk 4714.
We've got the frequency set, we got the heading set.
Let's see, that was cleared
We
Cleveland.
got
via
the
11-3,
VOR 272 set.
Direct Highland, and it's filed, maintain 3000, and squawk 4714.
Descent looks really good here. We're slowing down.
Delta, Logan 3 departure, radar vectors Highland.
I'm sorry, radar vectors to Highland, got that, 1 Lima Delta.
For 1 Lima Delta, read back correct, advise right to taxi with November.
1 Lima Delta.
Show 4862, cross runway 4 left, turn left on November.
Okay, 30 miles out.
Cross runway 4 left, left on November, Metro 4862.
We're going to put a 30, a 20, and a 10-mile circle.
Alpha, wait to right.
And we're going to lights, camera, action.
10,000 feet. 251, brown gates with November ready to push.
Tops 40, 140 knots.
Center, hello, push back into the alley, advise right to taxi. Code 251. American 2, looks like you might be going the wrong way. Fly heading 070, maintain 8,000.
070, 8,000 on the Roebuck, I thought. 070?
Correct, yeah, Roebuck for 27 has a different transition for each runway.
I've got heading, okay.
Just turn right 070, 8,000, please. X2364 heavy, just to double check, runway 2 right, line up and wait.
Get line up and wait for X2364.
You know, we're 220 Whiskey, Lima, radar contact to altitude.
I know why, I didn't delete it here.
20 Whiskey, Lima, thank you, maintain BFR at 5,500 on course shortly.
5,500, 20 Whiskey.
There we go.
November 8th,
Zulu, please, for 6,200.
Block that, American 658, 8th November, current expect the ILS from 827 approach.
Yeah, we got November and ILS 27, American 658.
Air India 2887, cross crank at and maintain 7,000, New York altimeter 3015.
Cross crank at 7,000, 3015, Air India 2887.
Fortune 818, it's November, it's current expect the ILS from a 27 approach.
Thousand to go.
Split Fortune 818, it's November, it's current, let me know when you have it, expect the ILS from a 27 approach.
We have November, we'll expect 27 for JetBlue 431.
I'll try to check it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
492 with you through 7,300 now.
4902 November, Boston Center, thanks for the contact, 10 miles southwest of Frenchville Airport, the Bangor altimeter 3012. 172 Sierra Bravo, let me know when you have 8th November, expect the ILS from a 27 approach.
Expecting ILS runway 27 approach, we'll let you know with info November. 720 Bravo.
It's a 427, welcome to Boston, taxi to the gate via Kilo, cross runway 22 right, have a good day.
Okay, via Kilo, cross 22 right, Baltimore, bye-bye.
220 Whiskey Lima, turn left heading 180.
110, 220 Whiskey.
4862, cross runway 15 right at November, Alpha to the gate, take care.
Cross runway 33 left, then November Alpha to the gate. Metro 4862.
So when we did the transition, we didn't delete arrival.
Heavy,
different transition for 27 from 4.
Come take off X23 625 right.
1402 Heavy, Boston Center, hello, push back up to taxiway Alpha, approved, advise right to taxi.
Whiskey Hotel, following short line 29er, ready for departure.
First 714 Whiskey Hotel, thanks, wind 2706 runway 29er, claim takeoff.
Next for takeoff, 4 Whiskey Hotel.
Via 2887, contact New York Center 125.32, have a good day.
125.32, Air India 2887.
Boston Center, Chicago 251 with November red taxi.
Chicago Show 251, I have one inbound, then I'll get you moving.
We'll sit side 251.
Boston Center, November 512 Papa, radio check. Loud and clear. 220 Whiskey Lima, proceed on course to Provincetown.
On course, 220 Whiskey.
American 1166, Bravo 21, requesting K-Down. Echo 1166 Boston Center, you got it via PDC private messages. Check those. If you don't have it, I'll resend it.
Okay, that was my fault. When you say zoom in a bit, I'm not sure I know what you mean by zoom in.
For heavy radar contacts, altitude.
You say zoom in.
1,500.
I can't zoom the camera in and get both screens.
Maintain 14,000, Phoenix 2360, pardon. At 1724, descend via the J Fund to arrival, runway 27, Boston, altimeter 3013.
Altimeter J Fund to arrival, United 1724.
At 27.
Yeah, runway 27, United 1724. November 1720, Bravo, expecting ILS into runway 27 with information November.
Thank you. Boston Center, November 512 Papa is at Portsmouth, requesting IFR clearance to Reykjavik. Number 512 Papa, Boston Center, cleared to the Reykjavik Airport via radar vectors Kennebunk, then as filed. Climb and maintain 3000, expect flight level 370, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 4740.
Yeah, this camera, I could zoom it in, but you could only see this one or this one, not both of them.
512 Papa. Kennebunk, Echo, November, Echo.
Again, this is the first time I've done this with this, so I'll have to work on it. They're different computers, so it's kind of hard to inject them on the screen in OBS. I can work on that. It's
Number 512 Papa, reback correct, advise ready to taxi on A16.
just in practice.
We'll advise when ready to taxi. November 512 Papa. Boston Center, number 13 Papa, number 1, short of reactive, Number 10 Papa, release for departure, clearance void at 2150. Airborne by then, advise me of your intentions, no later than 2155. Time now 2142, change to advisory, frequency approved, talk to you shortly.
Boston Center, Twin Cessna 781 Lima Delta is ready to taxi. We're at the GA ramp, and we have to move.
781 Lima Delta, runway 22 right, taxi via Bravo, November. Cross runway 15 right, hold short runway 15 left.
Okay, that was 22 right, via Bravo, November, cross 15 right, hold short 15 left. For 1 Lima Delta.
Chicago Shuttle 251, runway 22 right, taxi via Alpha, November. Cross runway 15 right, hold short runway 15 left.
22 right by Alpha, November, cross 15 right, hold short 15 left, Chicago Shuttle 251.
American 2, Charles heading 020 to set and maintain 5000.
020, 5000, American 2.
Good, looking at 1206 from Montreal, like overfound passing, passing 13,000. Yeah, 1206 Boston Center, hello, squawk 4717. 4717.
1,000 to go.
Boston, good morning, UBS A7.
Air Canada 1206, radar contact over Fawns, climb and maintain, flight level 340. 340, what was called, I'm sorry?
Boston, good, from UBS 87 heavy.
UBS 87, Boston Center, hello, squawk 4756.
4756, UBS 87.
Number 172 Sierra Bravo, flighting 070, vectors
Okay.
ILS 1827 approach.
Slow it down.
T364, climb and maintain, flight level 320.
320 FX 2364 Avenue. 1720 Bravo, flighting 070, vectors ILS 1827 approach. American 2, total heading 360 to set maintain 3000.
360 down to 3000, American 2.
And Force gets up. We switch to advisory. We're going to be landing in Minuteman.
Yeah, once you leave the Delta, you don't need permission.
Control 4, Whiskey yourself.
Right, yeah, once you leave the Delta, you don't need permission, you can just switch over.
Okay, I'll just, usually I get a call from tower saying I switch to advisory. That's fine. I'll switch to advisory now for Force gets up, yeah.
So 530 flighting 01 and 0 to set and maintain 6000, vectors ILS 127 approach.
Hitting 0 and 0, 6000, Delta 530.
Okay, let's get our fixes up.
220 Whiskey Lima, VFR altitude.
5,
actually, leaving the Boston Class Bravo,
3,
VFR altitude.
we're all set there.
220 Whiskey Lima.
Brief the
transponder on mode C,
approach already.
Number 120 Bravo, sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm back.
November 1720 Bravo, flighting 070, vectors ILS 1827 approach.
Alright, ILS runway 27 approach, 1720 Bravo.
My heading 070, please.
070, heading.
1000 to go.
Bravo. Yep, Chicago Shuttle 251, cross runway 15 left in November. Cross 15 left.
We should be turning left here.
American 2, Charles heading 300, join the localizer.
200 for the localizer, American 2. 300. Okay, and let's
American
put
2 heading 300.
300 for the localizer, American 2.
We're 10 Papa, thank you, radar contact 15 miles east of the Rutland Airport.
And we got the localizer.
250, stay altitude. 220 Whiskey Lima, no traffic observed between you and Provincetown. Radar service terminated. Squawk V-Fire, cruise to change food. Take care.
Squawk V-Fire, advisory, cheers, 220 Whiskey Lima.
You can make it heading 250 now to join.
We're coming back for American 2.
The 530 to set and maintain 3000.
3000 up to 530.
He gives us a little late turn in.
6 Boston Center, hello, what is your gate and what do you have the ATIS?
Bravo 21, we take automation, November.
Speed down.
Come 66, thank you. Push back onto taxiway. Echo is approved, advisory to taxi.
American 2 established.
Need to report, but thank you. Chicago Shuttle 251, wind 250-622 to right, clear for takeoff.
2506, to right, clear for takeoff, Chicago Shuttle 251.
Okay. Clear to descend.
American 2, 1 mile from Loner, cleared ILS, runway 27 approach.
Clear for the 27 right approach, American 2. Loner.
27. American 2, just runway 27.
27, American 2. Did I say right again?
Yeah. The 530, Charles heading 300, join the localizer.
Left 300, turn localizer, Delta.
Coming down. Okay, we're on.
Flighting 020 to set and maintain 5000, vectors ILS 1827 approach.
And we're established on the glide slope. Missed approach is 3000. Okay, we're descending. Let's get the speed down. Flaps 1. Flaps 2.
Delta 1481 to set and maintain 4000.
Runway in sight.
Delta 4000 for JetBlue 1481.
Still on the glide slope, still on the localizer.
I forgot to say you are radar contact 100 miles northwest of Yoda. Cross Lolly, add and maintain 520.
Still established. Speed coming down.
Center American 68, I normally don't do this, but I'm getting TCAS warnings. I'm going to slow down or just maintain.
Let's do flaps 5.
Thank you. 33 miles from Loner, maintain 3000 until established on a localizer, cleared ILS.
Speed's coming down, still established.
3000 till established, clear ILS 27 approach, Delta 530.
We'll take it over at 5 miles.
71 Lima Delta, cross 1815 left at November.
And we're going to go flaps 10.
1481 to center, maintain 3000.
Take the speed brake off and armed.
2000 for
And going manual, gear down, flaps 15, speed down. And we got it.
Person Chicago Shuttle 251, radar contacts, altitude. 251 passing 4000. Chicago Shuttle 251, thanks, climb and maintain 14,000. Roger, climb up to 14,000, Chicago Shuttle 251. Okay, 2, wind 2506, runway 27, clear to land.
27, clear to land, American 2.
530, number 2, following a 737.
Okay, let's do flaps 25, turn the speed down. It's a reference, that's all it is. We're on manual here. Auto throttle is turned off.
240 to center, maintain 3000.
Okay. Slope's looking good.
240 and down to 2000 for JetBlue 141.
Flaps 30. 3 miles out. Flaps 40. Final approach checklist. 3 down in green. Flaps 40. Attendant notified. Runway cleared. Clear to land. A little more power. Get her lined up.
Approaching decision height, 500.
Slope's good. Power's good.
Minimums.
Continue.
471, Lima Delta, runway 23, line up and wait.
Coming up a little bit. 3 pappies.
I'm gonna need just a couple minutes here to run my checks.
300.
Down a little bit.
No problem. Just in future reference, at an airport like this, you probably need to be ready to go. There's no one behind you today, so no big deal. Just in future reference, you have to be ready when you get to the end. Oh, okay, didn't know that.
Coming down.
For 120 Bravo, turn right heading 090. Turn right heading 090 Bravo. 170 Bravo.
40.
Chicago Shuttle 251,
30.
climb and maintain final level 320.
20.
Up to 320, Chicago Shuttle 251.
Get it down.
With 1481, 8 miles from Ripon, maintain 2000 until
little long.
on the localizer, cleared ILS from a
Little long.
Maintain 2000 until established on the localizer and cleared ILS 27.
80 knots.
1481. 1481, thanks, maintain 190 knots or greater.
Good.
Maintain 190 knots or greater for JetBlue 141.
American 2, clear Kilo.
Okay, 2, thanks, welcome to Boston, taxi to the ramp via Kilo. And then you can join either Alpha or Echo anywhere you need for the gate and cross runway 22 right. Have a good day.
Cross to your right, Kilo, going to Bravo 8, straight across, American 2. Thanks for service. Okay. Straight across, okay. Lights off. That off, that's up.
Welcome back, turn left heading 300, maintain 3000.
And get that APU going.
And Boston Center, when we Delta's ready to go.
That's going up.
Right.
TA, after landing checklist.
Thank you.
Lights, yaw damper, window heats, probe heats, engine starts, auto brake. Okay.
Today you got that 3.
That's my weather.
So I'll take 300, 3000.
Weather and transponder. I mean, terrain.
1481, wind 2506.
Yeah, it was long.
Following A321, 2 mile final, runway 27, clear to land.
I'm sure my stable approach app will tell me that.
For JetBlue 1481.
We'll show you that in just a minute.
Speed your discretion. Speed is my discretion for 1481. November 512 Papa at Portsmouth is ready for taxi. 512 Papa, runway 16 taxi Alpha.
Yeah, I just couldn't get it on the ground.
Alpha, November 512 Papa.
Okay, APU is online, and we're going over to B8. And that should be around the corner here. Right around there.
Okay, Boston Center, Delta 1402, we're finally ready. Ready to taxi, runway 22 right. 1402, runway 22 right, taxi via Alpha November, cross runway 15 right, hold
Yeah, I meant to work on getting
left.
both these screens here onto my stream
cross,
so they're
right, hold
got better resolution.
Delta 1402.
American 1166, on echo, ready for taxi.
And once we get into the gate, I'm going to throw the Stable Approach app up on the screen so you can take a look at my landing. We can dissect it. Man, it was great with all this ATC.
Charlie, please.
Doesn't get any better than that. I know where my screw up in my arrival was. He switched me over from the 4 right. Let me turn that noise maker off.
38 depart, suite heading 0. Clear the zone.
What happened was he gave me changed me from 4 right to 27, and I deleted 4 right and put 27 in, but I forgot to delete the arrival, put it back in for the 27 transition, and that was the problem. And that's not a problem except in a busy place like this, and they don't give you any mercy. They just tell you you're wrong. Okay, this should be, here's 12, and that should be 10, and that should be 8. Okay, which one is this? This is 8. Should be right here. Bravo 8. Okay, lights off. APU on. Bravo 8. It's 10 over there. We got a marshaller out here. Little guy. Coming on in. And stop. Brake set. APU on. Engines off. Standby. I should change that. And let's go ahead and set the chocks. Move the brakes. Open up the cargos. Ground power available. APU off. Pumps off. And let's go ahead and take those off. Attendant notified, and the front door opened. Okay, so let's go over to let's go share the see if we can get Stable Approach on here. This is an interesting, this little app here. I don't know if this app will come through or not. We're going to give it a try. Standby. Okay, let's see if we can remove it. We can minimize that. And bear with me 1 second. Let's see if I can get this in here. Yeah, long landing. Okay, so let me see if I can throw this up here. Bear with me 1 second. There it is. Let's see if we can see this. So what I have here, a program called Stable Approach. Let's just see if I can move it where I need to. Okay, so I'm going to scroll on it. And what we have here, starting from the top, this Let's see. Date and time, airport, runway, Boston, landing 6,900 feet. Touchdown zone is 2,400 feet. Okay. Approach is visual 500 foot check height max. Okay. My max localizer deviation was 0.08. That's very nice. My max glide slope deviation was 0.6. That's good. Sync rate was 435 min, 934 max. The indicated airspeed was 142 to 143. Touchdown height was 69 feet above the threshold. That should have been down at 50 feet, so it's slightly high. Touchdown at 440 feet per minute. That's kind of hard at almost 2 Gs. That's a little, that'll rattle your teeth. It has the time, indicated airspeed 136. Okay, I can live with 136. Centerline deviation was 1.5 foot. Threshold distance. Pitch altitude, attitude. Crab angle was good. Bank angle, wind. Rollout, max centerline deviation was 49 feet from centerline deviation. A little sloppy there, isn't it? Okay. So down here at the bottom, it gives you all the greens. It says long landing. I had a warning on that. Everything else, stop distance, centerline deviation, touchdown, G-forces. Well, okay, sync rate, approach speed, everything was good. Mathis, you're more than welcome. Feel free to come back anytime. I have to go get rid of some caffeine. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Plane scares her. Okay, let me get this out of here. Yeah, it's free. It's called Stable Approach. No, I'm not a real captain. Hey, Fly with Rookie. Good to see you here. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the World Flight. Hopefully you'll be there. And Swan Sim, Mike. Mike, it's good to see you. Yeah, this data is really nice. I'm going to get it out of here. Stable Approach is the name of it. You can get it from X-Plane. So I think I need to work on getting these presentation a little better. And I'll show you my ACARS information. I'm going to file my ACARS. So this is my ACARS information here. Let me see if I can get it so you can see it. So this is my ACARS information for my flight, and I can it keeps all the data on the flight. And I'll file it with Joint AVA. That stalling is when I was doing my stall test on the runway. And the important thing here is it gives you other information about the landing. It says I landed at 306 feet per minute. So I'm gonna file that. And PIREP filed. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. And I'm gonna close that. Yep, flight just ended. Yeah, Fly with Rookie, it just ended. I flew Philly to Boston. I spent a lot of time at the airport going through my setup, showing all the different screens. So if you play this back, you should be able to see it. So actually, I'm getting ready to shut this down, to tell you the truth. Any of you guys don't know it, Fly with Rookie has a similar type full sim cockpit. He's up in Rancho Cucamonga, which is a couple of hours north of me. I'm in San Diego, and he's got a really good stream. He's actually flying, I think, an MS-2020 with his full sim. And interesting sim. I would highly recommend you go look at his. Hey, Fly with Rookie, if you could throw up your link, I would appreciate it. Yeah. What was the question about where you're going to live again, Swan Sim? So I do the world flight with Pikatanga. He was in here earlier. He does Air New Zealand 361. And it's, what is it called? It's Team Hamilton in world flight. I've flown with him a couple of years now. Oh, where's Mike been? Yeah, when's he going to be live again? Yeah, Mike's been out working in the yard. Working on the house. Yeah, I'm going to work on these two. I want to really get those, that ForeFlight and that screen plastered in here correctly so you can see it. I think it's good information. I want to thank everybody. Mathis, thanks for being here. Good to meet you. Sasha, it's good to see you again. Mike, I will call you later, and I'm going to give Pikatanga a call. Talk to him. I need to get his input. Yeah, world flight's what, 150 days out or so? Yep, Duncan. The wife's killing me. You're gonna be flying Microsoft on Vatsim as British Airways. Oh no, Sasha is. Yeah, okay, I know Sasha. Yeah, BAW 632. Yeah, Mike, thanks. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing to set that all up, and kind of went through everything kind of maybe a little fast. Duncan Soft, yeah. It's third level support. There's Michael Soft. So the joke is, me and Mike and Duncan help people with explain with ZiboMod with the Flightdeck solutions to XP software and zhsi that Duncan has so graciously developed. Anyway, when people have a problem, they contact Mike, which is Microsoft, and Duncan, which is Duncansoft, and then I'm referred to as Pat Not So Soft. Yeah, BAW 632. Let me write that down. I'll put that in my list of in Vatsim to flag when I see it. Speedbird 632. I always fly as American 2, except in World Flight, which I'll be Air New Zealand 362, American 2, and Air New Zealand 362. Duncan will be 361, and we can fly at the same time or take turns. Yeah, Pat's Not So Soft. Yeah, Fly with Rookie, we really need to get together. We're not that far away and compare sims, and both Mike and I, and we're really interested in your setup and how you're doing things. We're both quite versed in the difficulties of using different sims, and with this type of setup and different types of visuals, and we've beat our heads against the wall for many years trying to get things looking good. And I'm pretty sure you know, Fly with Rookie Mike here, Swan Sim has a full sim exactly like mine, or mine's exactly like his. He's got a lot of YouTubes. I'm sure you know about that. Shut that one off. Shut that one off. Shut that one off. Turn off the CDU. Turn off the Brio. And it's just me. Yeah, I don't think Vatsim cares if you're 2020 or X-Plane or anything. Yeah, yeah, it's a little different. Forgot about that. Whew, that was actually a good flight. Let's see what well, I won't accept the gentleman term, but thank you. Okay, Sasha, see if I can keep an eye out. I started on this sim about a little before Mike started on his. What is it, Mike? 7, 8 years ago on this sim. I've had lots of other sims. First sim was in '84. First real sim like this was started about 7, 8 years ago. see if Vatsim is still hot. And let's see what's going on with Vatsim. There we go. Let's see how hot Vatsim is. Let me shut that down. So you can see here that the northeast is still hot on Vatsim. The whole northeast is pretty active right now. Very nice. Let's scroll on over to Europe. It should be pretty cold, yeah, this time of night. Yeah, there's just Echo Golf Licky Licky and was that Manchester? Yeah, they're hot. Edinburgh. They're all asleep right now. But we've got a little South America going here. And how many we got? 700 connections on right now. Nothing on the West Coast. Looks like San Diego ground's on. Very important. But the real action, I don't think any, let's see if anything is going on in the Pacific. Northern New Zealand. Let's see if Duncan's flying over there. Nope, I don't see him. Duncan lives up here in the North Island somewhere. Not sure exactly where. And Australia's pretty cold. Nobody else. Lahore control, very important. Very, very important. Let's go back to where it's really hopping. The northeast. That's everything that's going on in the northeast right there. Yep. New York, who's this? New York Center for JFK, and obviously Boston Center's on, no approach there, and DC is on, and Chicago is, oh no, that's Detroit. Yeah, that's Detroit. Detroit, yeah, that's Detroit. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm guessing August 1st. That's my rumor. Yeah. Mike's wife got the house. Mike got to move into the garage. No, Sasha. No, it's exhausting. Yeah, doing the flight just wears me out. I think I need a nap. Those old pilots. Okay, guys, I am going to shut it down. Everybody say goodbye to everybody, and I'm going to shut it down. Later, Mike. Mathis, you're welcome. Okay, bye-bye, guys. I'm shutting it down. Let's see, where's the stop streaming? Right there.